Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the thick of it, week 7 of the 2013 AUDL season. We are here in Madison to watch the Madison Radicals take on the Minnesota Windchill.
And we're just getting ready for the opening introductions. We're here at Breeze Stevens Field in Madison, right in downtown. You can actually see the Capitol building from here. And this is the only grass field in the league. It's a very old stadium. The outside looks kind of like the walls in Rome. It's a very historic looking building. And apparently the old state college championships used to be held here for soccer until they moved them to Milwaukee. But we are getting ready for opening introductions, the national anthem. And what's the weather like?
It is a beautiful day here in Madison. It is 62 degrees.
Pretty nice weather actually for Ultimate. And at the same time as this is college national championships for the USA Ultimate college division, which is right across town. I was out there earlier today, got to watch some of that action, and it's pretty exciting. I think a lot of the guys on these two teams were out there as well watching the best college players in the world. So everything's kind of happening in Madison this weekend in the Ultimate world, and we're happy to be here.
Number 7 from Carleton College, Grant Lindsley. Wearing it from Winona State, Pat Jensen. Number 14 from the University of Illinois, the captain, Austin Lee. Number 20 from Iowa State, Leo Henke. And for your Radicals, number 1 from the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee Black Cat, Benji Karen. Number 9, Joshua Jacob Wilson. Double 8, Nate Brookman. Number 10, a goal-scoring machine against Detroit, David Schleicher. Number 21, from the University of Wisconsin, Hodags, a Callahan finalist in college, Dave Wiseman. Number 11, a national champion, also from the University of Wisconsin, Hodags, Andrew Brown.
When we're leaning forward to watch outside, we can't see the monitor.
And wearing number 7, a two-time national champion with the University
You'll have to
of
give us like
Wisconsin,
5 seconds to do
Hodags,
that.
Tom Animal Fans, please rise and remove your hats. Join us in honoring our country with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Is one live? Somebody singing?
Hey fans, American Ultimate Disc League games are played in 4-time quarters of 12 minutes each with a halftime lasting 10 to 15 minutes. Referees will actively call fouls, traveling, and other violations on the field. After one team pulls the disc to the other, players advance the disc downfield with a series of passes. Players cannot run with the disc and must pass it within 7 seconds of receiving it. If the score is tied after regulation, a 5-minute overtime will be played. If the score remains tied, a second sudden death overtime will be played. The first team to score will win. The American Ultimate Disc League features the integrity rule, which allows any player to waive off a penalty if it benefits his team and he doesn't feel his opponent committed the violation.
So we are back. We just had our introductions, and we're getting ready to go here. They've actually got a DJ set up with the PA system on the right in the stands with the fans, so it's a pretty cool environment here in Madison. There's a bunch of people starting to file in. I think a bunch of people are rolling over from college nationals, so we kind of expect the numbers to climb all throughout the first half. It's a beautiful night here in Madison.
Absolutely. And we're lucky enough to be to have a guest commentator with us tonight. David, why don't you introduce yourself to the crowd?
Hi, I'm David Beckett, the announcer for the Windchill, and I'll be sitting in for the first quarter, so to help out.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll give us a little more inside information on the players as they make plays. So we're going to get some good information from him tonight. And as we're waiting for the game to start, now is a good time to talk about what else is going on in the AUDL. Tonight, the only game being played is the Madison Radicals versus the Minnesota Windchill. Tomorrow, we have a slew of games at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The DC Breeze are taking on the Rochester Dragons. Tomorrow evening, the Detroit Mechanics will be playing the Windy City Wildfire. That game is available online, so if you go to the AUDL.com, click on Schedule, you can click on the link to obtain that game online. Also occurring tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the New Jersey Hammerheads take on the Philadelphia Phoenix. And we have the Cincinnati Revolution versus the Indianapolis Alley Cats at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Sunday, 2 games taking place, one at Eastern Standard Time. The Philadelphia Phoenix will play again versus the Rochester Dragons. And then 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, Cincinnati Revolution versus the Indianapolis Alley Cats.
So full slate of action here. This is week 7, you said?
Yes, it's week 7.
And how are the standings looking right now? I know DC was climbing up from the bottom. Where are they?
They are currently 4th place in the Eastern Division. Of course, the Toronto Rush still heading out the Eastern Division. They are 7-0. They are the only undefeated team in the AUDL. In 2nd place, the Phoenix, 3 wins, 1 loss under their belt. New York Empire, 3-3. The DC Breeze, 2 games won, 4 games lost. The Dragons, 2 games won, 5 games lost. And the New Jersey Hammerheads have 1 win, 6 losses under their belts.
Wow, it's a tough season so far for the New Jersey Hammerheads. Those are a lot of young guys, and I think when we did the showcase game in Toronto, they were missing a lot of guys for finals.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of crazy to think that some of these professional ultimate players are still in college. Some of these guys, trying to do 2 or 3 things at once, and probably trying to have a successful relationship because it's college. It's not easy.
Absolutely. They're trying their best to do it all. They're trying their best to do it all. In the Midwest Division, the Windy City Wildfire still heads out 1st place. They have 6 wins, 1 losses. Right after that, the Madison Radicals, one of the teams showcased tonight, they have 4 wins, 2 losses. And it's worth noting that 2 of their wins are against the Minnesota Windchill, who they played twice already. In 3rd place, the Cincinnati Revolution, 3 wins, 4 losses. Then the Alley Cats, 2 wins, 3 losses. The Mechanics, 3 wins, 5 losses. And in 6th, the Minnesota Windchill, 2 wins, 5 losses.
Okay, right. And so the Windchill have lost both games to the Radicals so far this season, is that correct?
That is correct.
It sounds like one advantage that they might have going for them this time around is they've got all their University of Minnesota guys on the roster tonight, because unfortunately those guys, the Minnesota team did not make nationals. They were really expected to. Very disappointing for that program. It's more beer for us tonight. These guys are really good players. And I know the Wisconsin Hodags, who would be playing for the Madison Radicals, are not here tonight. So it may tip the scales a little bit more in the Windchill favor and make this more of an interesting game than definitely the Windchill are looking to notch a win against this conference opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. And now might be a good time to turn to David and get a little bit of information about some of the players we ought to be watching. David, who comes to the forefront of your mind when we say players we're going to be watching for tonight?
Sure, I guess the main people we want to look out for, especially on the O-line for the Windchill, are number 0, Kevin Sealer, who is leading the team in assists this year. Grant Lindsley is just kind of a force to be reckoned with. You can't really shut him down. You can only kind of hope to contain him or give him one thing over the other. So I would look for Kevin Sealer, number 0, Grant Lindsley, number 7, and Pat Niles, number 3, to be big tonight for the Windchill.
Okay, and we are
Excellent.
underway here. Looks like they're working their way down the backhand line. And there's number 0, Kevin Sealer. So swinging around to number 13. And it's pretty clogged up in the middle right now. Not a lot of good looks downfield. So Kevin Sealer with the disc looking for that flick around. Nice mark by number 44 on the Radicals. Gets it anyway, however, and a big layout D underneath by one of the Radicals. And that's Tyler Glenn, who in our last showcase game was not here. He was not on the roster, but he is supposed to be the best player on the Madison Radicals. We're really excited to see what he can do out here. So here's Tyler Glenn getting it right on cue underneath. Swings it around to number 44, Scullion. And he is patient. The stall count gets high, though, and he has to throw it. It's turnover. So Minnesota with the disc. Pretty good D downfield. A lot of space out to the flat, though, that's not being used right now by the Windchill. And Sealer, calm, cool, and collected with the disc. Nice little dish pass up line, power position. And so far, no deep shots. I haven't really seen any very good deep looks yet. Nothing really developing downfield. And our first deep shot down the line. Number 7's got a great read on it. Easy catch deep for number 7 on the Radicals. That is Tom Annan, the Animal. And Animal gets it up the middle to number 19. That is Kevin Brown, Andrew Brown's younger brother. Apparently more athletic than Andrew Brown, although maybe Andrew would have something to say about that. So Tyler Glenn around to Scullion. And the big swing back to Animal. He's looking away to Tyler Glenn, rips it. Glenn's got position, he goes up. Oh, nice D by number 13 on the Windchill. Looks like Glenn was a little lazy on that bid. He had great position and height, but does not make the play. So number 13, that's Schwa, Josh Hemish. He's only 5'10", but he gets up big for that D. And here's a floaty one. Mike Swain's got a nice read on it, and a team D here by the Radicals. So they've got it in the red zone. Quick upline pass here, and the first goal of the game to the Madison Radicals. So very sloppy start here for both teams. But the Radicals stick with it, get a big block on a floaty pass there and punch it in for the goal.
That was Scullion to Pettit Scandling.
So is number 0 on the Windchill, he's a CLX guy, is that correct?
Yeah, Kevin Sealer has captained CLX for a number of years. There were a few years off where there was the Van Buren boys where CLX split up between the men and the women. And then also captain for ACS as well. But he's mostly a mixed player, and he is very relaxed on the field at all times. So he's a go-to guy.
Yeah, he looked very calm when the disc got to him. You could see the whole team kind of trust him with the disc, and his looks were very calculated and very calm.
Yeah, he's a cutter, but he will often drop back into the handler position. Him and John Starin have a really good chemistry on the field, so those two are great together.
Okay. So Windchill looking to get on the board here, centering pass to number 11. That is Josh Klain. And so far, a lot of quick passes here for the Windchill. They're trying to be very patient. And a nice over-the-top flick down the line to number 71. I'm not sure who 71 is. Nick Simonelli.
And there's Grant, the one who we should look out for, number 7. He's going to be open all day long.
Yeah, Grant Lindsley strikes to the end zone. He does look very, very quick. Sets up his cuts well and explodes deep, and he's just got tons of separation to make this catch.
Yeah, Grant is the type of player who is moving all the time on the field, and he's not just fast, but he has that quick, like you said, the quick step. He changes directions very quickly, which makes him very difficult to guard as well.
And how old is Grant Lindsley? He's not that old, but he's been playing club for what seems like forever.
Yeah, Grant graduated college from Carleton College in Minnesota in 2011. So he's been playing, he's been to club nationals. I can't even count how many times. He started with Chain Lightning back, I think, his sophomore year when he was at Paideia. So he's been playing at a high level for a long time.
Sophomore year in
high school, excuse me. Yeah, sophomore year in high school. So he has a lot of experience.
My goodness. So the sport is evolving. Guys are playing younger and younger, and you're able to play at an elite level as a sophomore in high school. It's incredible. Centering pass to Andrew Brown.
Just a side note, Andrew Brown did live in my attic at one point.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Andrew Brown, what happened, buddy?
Contact called. That results in 10 yards for the Radicals.
So contact, 10-yard penalty, and they tap it right back in. And that is number 20. Who is it? 25 to 29. So Wiseman's got the disc, looks downfield to Animal. Animal, real nice throws, very comfortable with the disc. He swings it around to Andrew Brown. And Brown looks like he draws the foul. No call, however. And he moves it to Nate Volkman, savvy vet. Nice touch passes. Wiseman loves his hammers. Cocks that one back, though. And Volkman swings it around to Wiseman. And you can tell every time Wiseman's got the disc, he's looking at the end zone. He's got that kind of range, and he's got that kind of break mark throws, especially the over-top stuff in this, 4-mile-per-hour wind tonight, meters?
Yeah, not very high at all.
Yeah, very makeable throws. Nice around break from Nate Volkman. And looking at that IO flick, it's not quite there. And there's the hammer over the top. A little too high for number 29, Nate Thibodeau. Tibbs, one of those fixtures in the Madison Ultimate community, has been playing for a very long time.
And I will add that I know Minnesota, one of their main points is to force Dave Wiseman under because they believe that he throws a lot of turnovers, so they want to force him underneath.
Interesting. So they break the zone over the top of the hammer here. The Windchill have got a lot of looks right now. Let's see if they can keep the disc moving before Madison gets to reset, and they do. Nice.
And that is number 16, I believe. 16. That's Brian Schoenrock, but everybody calls him Strings, and he is one of the goal leaders for this team as well, and that's on the D-line, so he scores a ton for a defensive player.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to run a trap zone. I think they had 4 guys around the disc there, did the Radicals, and basically the over-the-tops on a 53.5-yard wide field are pretty devastating. Once that got up, you can see how all the Radicals defenders are kind of out of position, and just a matter of time before they punch it in for the easy one.
And I know at practice this week, the Windchill also earlier they watched some film and noticed the Madison zone that they throw a lot, so that I know they practiced how to beat that as well. So they've definitely prepared and learned a lot from playing this team twice already. So hopefully tonight will be a different result, at least on my end.
And just to point out, our Twitter handles are up at the top of the screen if you'd like to interact with us during the broadcast of this game. Chuck's Twitter handle is ChucktownDisc, and mine is Meagles000. Just 3 zeros, even though 4 is posted. Someone got a little twitchy with their fingers there.
We're going to get our best guy on that to fix that. Andrew Brown with the disc, for no reason at all, throws a flick on a backhand mark. Tyler Glenn with the disc, looking for the over-top break, holds it, and a little air bounce downfield to Kevin Brown, the younger and better version of Andrew Brown. No. Around to his brother Andrew. Andrew looking for his break. Swain underneath, not there. And the stall count gets high, and he just bombs it to Mike Swain, the big goal scorer in our first showcase game, and Swain misreads it. Pretty good physical D there by the Windchill, and a quick pick up and throw to get the disc moving. And immediately a rip to the other end zone. A big backhand. Andrew Brown is there with a pretty good read on it. Let's see what happens. Wow! Rips it down. And a push is called.
And there's Grant Lindsley again making big plays. Expect that from him all night long here.
Grant Lindsley, 27 years old, has been playing Elite Club Ultimate for 14 years. That's probably an exaggeration, but he made that look easy. 23 with the disc, looking for Lindsley around, not there. And a quick dish up line here. Swain out of position and a goal. So the Windchill rip it deep to a matchup.
And there's Ben Feldman there coming in for the score. And Ben was the one who had that great defensive play over on Mike Swain in the end zone. He went up early and made Mike Swain go up, which resulted in a bad read on the disc there.
Yeah, real nice play by Feldman. I mean, he's given up a couple inches, and he's probably giving up some hops as well. Mike Swain is very athletic, very fast, but you could see Feldman forced him to commit too early on his jump. And so it's kind of a head-scratcher for the Radicals. You expect Swain to come down with that one.
You know, in talking with the Radicals before the game, one thing to point out is this is the third game that they've played against the Minnesota Windchill, and this is also the third game. This is also the third game that that the Windchill has gone up 3-1 against the Madison Radicals.
That's right, and there's Lindsley beating Andrew Brown deep. So here we see.
I believe that was John Bergen throwing the assist there. And I think that was Jay Drescher with the pull as well. Minnesota Duluth alum who made it to nationals last year from the college division.
All right, so centering pass to Scullion, flick downfield to Wiseman. And you can see, kind of like you were saying, they're letting Wiseman get the disc underneath. They think he's a high-risk thrower. They may be right. We've already seen the hammer over the top in the red zone that was turned. Animal with the disc. Gets it around to Scullion here. He's got to continue to Wiseman. And looks downfield here. I think that's Shreewise. And Wiseman downfield again. Wow, and he gets the up line there. Kind of a blown assignment on defense. So Wiseman able to get the disc at will, maybe by design, but certainly you don't want to give up the upline cut here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end zone, that's the number one thing you're taught when you first get into college there is not to give up the upline near the upline near the end zone. And you can see it was just a simple give and go there. That's number 20 Neil Hankey from Iowa State being beat, who is also a CLX player.
And my apologies, correction. This was Schleicher, not Shreewise, number 10, who threw the goal. All right, so it's 3-2. Minnesota is up. So maybe they're rewriting the script here a little bit. Kevin Brown getting ready to pull. And they got what looks like a pretty athletic D-line coming in here. See if they can put something on the board to rally back here against Minnesota. So big floaty backhand pull. And up the gut to number 13.
Yep, that's Schwa Hemish, who is basically a work machine there.
And nice adjustment by the mark. Niles holsters that flick around, and now staring with the disc, swings it. And a big layout catch D. Scullion lays out right through that. A nice explosion of the disc. And here's Animal making it look real easy with that little dish up line. And the around flick break. Swain's got it right on the goal line.
A little cheeky throw by Swain there. A little air bounce backhand inside out.
Yeah, he throws that throw that a lot of our dads throw because their knees don't work anymore.
The barbecue dad.
Yeah, the little air bounce. Hey, will you go down? Because I won't go. Mike Swain gets it done. Who is this little kid running around in the red? He looks fired up.
Future Ultimate player? Yeah, future Grant Lindsley maybe?
Yeah. It's a family event here in Madison. So Madison's a really interesting town. I mean, there's always been a lot of good Ultimate in this town. Obviously, the Madison men's and women's college teams have always been good. I think there's two pretty good, top 25 men's club teams here right now. And it just seems to attract a lot of great players. I know, obviously, a lot of them come from here. It's interesting, too, if you go out west, you run into a lot of ex-Hodags and a lot of ex-Carleton guys.
Yeah, Carleton guys usually come from kind of all over the country. I know a lot of them come from the West Coast in the Seattle area, and so they're kind of spread out all over the place.
Yeah, Carleton's got that reputation as a great place to play, so guys come from all over, it seems like. So out of bounds on the pull. And who is this jogging it in here?
I believe that is number 45. That's John Starren, who's a CLX longtime vet.
CLX, for those who don't know, Chad Larson experience. I think it
mixed
was
division.
a lot of Iowa State guys, correct?
Yeah, they're based in Ames. A lot of Iowa State people. They get some friends here and there who come and join in, and perennial national contender every year.
Always, they just are constantly overperforming. So we saw this a little bit against Windy City, where they had number 15 Weber. Wow, another big layout D. And the throw to Weber here. He's got a man on his back, but he uses his size well, keeps his feet in.
Wow.
And a goal. So they get exactly what they want out of that defense. Yep. It's a little junky. It forces them to, no easy resets with Big Weber forcing no dump there. And, a costly turnover for the Windchill.
Yeah, and that's the second time the Windchill one of their handlers has taken it and just kind of thrown a nonchalant toss across the field. And second time in a row where they just gave up an easy layout D. That's what they're baiting there on the wing side there. They think that easy swing is open, but that's kind of what Madison wants.
Wow, and they're just bidding right through on these little lateral soft passes.
Yeah, and there's Austin Lean going up a little early there, and a great towing by the Madison player.
Yeah, it's about all you can do. You got a height differential like that, and you're out of position. Nice physical D. There's Luke Johnson at the bottom of your screen doing work as always.
So this is something that the Minnesota Windchill said that they were going to try and work towards, is moving the disc a little more quickly, because they know that the Madison Radicals have a very aggressive and dangerous zone.
Yeah, the zone is looking pretty good. So Simonelli, all alone here on the backhand side. He swings it down the line to, is that Mike Peterson?
Yep, that's Captain Mike Peterson.
Captain Mike.
U of M.
Captain Mike not at Nationals, unfortunately for him, but a great player and a leader of this team.
Yep, and that's Jeff Trosvig there with the disc. He is a very crafty thrower. He can throw his forehand probably 80, 90 yards. It's a sight to see.
So the quick bounce around through Peterson for the goal to the forehand cone.
There's Josh Klein, number 11, who also plays for Minnesota Grey Duck. I believe he captained them this year. Kind of unfortunate at regionals, but coming up with the goal here.
Yeah, you can see by the way Trosvig holds the disc, he's got a lot of things on his mind. Looking at high releases, over the tops.
Yeah, Jeff is a very interesting. He's a very crafty thrower. He has a lot of release points, which is huge for a handler. He's always looking to break the mark, and he's definitely calmed down and learned to not get end zone eyes as he got a little older here.
Yeah, that's got to be an adjustment for these guys who are used to playing college. The statistics, the percentages rather, are so different when you get to the pro level or you get to the club level. You can't turn the disc 25% of the time at the top, otherwise you're going to lose.
Yeah, especially when so Jay with the disc here, Jay Drescher and Jeff Trosvig both played on Minnesota Duluth, and when you're on those teams, you kind of have to do a lot yourself there. It's not a lot of support.
Absolutely. So Drescher with a nice big deep pull, tons of air on it, all the way into the goal line. And center to Andrew Brown. He gets it around to, is that Phibbs? And just a misthrow there. I'm not sure if if it was a miscommunication or what happened.
Yep, there's number 20, Neil Hankey with the disc.
And
got
a shot
the D.
to the end zone here. Wiseman is in the area but can't close.
And that is a great outside in flick from Ben Feldman. Had nice shape on that throw to number 7, Grant Lindsley, coming up with another goal.
Grant Lindsley, as always, in the end zone, wreaking havoc. Yeah, so far when the disc goes up to Lindsley, it's just been automatic. I haven't seen anybody really cause problems for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at these replays here, he has a lot of distance between his man. Like I said, you pretty much got to give him one direction, and usually you want to try to steer him away from the end zone.
Yeah, Lindsley very, very confident so far, making it look easy. You see some of the Windchill guys coming off right now. They look fired up.
Yeah, and there was a great throw by Ben Feldman as well from who is an ex-Hodag, graduated, I believe, last year or the year before. He's always kind of looking for the end zone on the D-line there. Yeah, you can see him get the end zone eyes, and a great outside in throw there.
Yeah, kind of the perfect throw. Didn't get so much air on it that the taller Wiseman could cause problems. So big pull again all the way to the end zone. Center to Andrew Brown, and they're running a vert stack. Tyler Glenn underneath off the backhand side. And throws it underneath to number 4. Is looking for Kevin Brown downfield. And Swain's got a step deep. Brown does not throw it, however. Swings it to Benji Kieran. And Glenn settles for the under. And here's Shrywise with the disc, number 4. Moves it around the backhand mark. Right up the gut to Kieran. And here's Tyler Glenn once again settling for the under. Big backhand around the mark here to Mike Swain. This one, Swain does not misread. He squeezes that one for a goal to go, let's see, even at 5s now.
Yeah, and there's Jay Drescher, number 10, playing. This is a great throw here. This is a tough throw through traffic. It's over everybody on the field. But that was a perfect touch on that, and it just came right down to Swain, who is extremely athletic.
Yeah, Swain seems like he's adjusting and readjusting. Looks like he's overthinking it a little bit in the end zone. With his leaping ability, nobody should be able to play that disc. And I think, the correct bid there probably could indeed that disc as well.
Yeah, it's a tough disc for everybody to read. It kind of came over the top of them, and it had a little bend on it. So when it's coming over the top of you, it's a tricky read for both the defense and offense there. But he played it very well.
Agreed. Yeah, tough throw by Glenn. That's a break side huck to the end zone. That should never get off. But, his release point was so high, such a tall, lanky guy, and he threw it from kind of almost shoulder high. So the pull lands in, rolls out. And some junk here from Madison. They got Tyler Glenn playing center field. And over the top, again, not a lot of wind, so the over the top, oh, wow.
There's another lazy handler throw right there for the Windchill. That's just giving up D's.
And Shreewise with the disc here. He's got a backhand mark. Moves it downfield to number 68, Nelson.
There's number 8, Pat Jensen on the mark, who was a Sub-Zero player last year. He's a great defender.
Shreewise thinks about that big inside-out backhand break, but holds it. So a quick little dish. Shreewise keeps the break moving. And this is Tim DeBile, part owner, the old man on the team. And they're on the end zone. They're being real patient here, looking for their opportunities. So far, nice D. Wow, and a quick little dish up the gut. Let's see if they can finish it here. Nice D on the goal line by the Windchill. Wow, and a little push pass over the top.
I don't really like the backhand force at this level. All these players are good enough to throw just these little breaks right in between there. That's so easy to throw with the backhand. It's a lot more difficult to do that on a forehand, but it's just so easy to throw these backhand breaks down the field. And I just think that the Windchill need to kind of switch it up there.
Yeah, maybe a good idea. It does look very easy for them to get, if they don't get the low IO, they've got these high releases and these flicks around that are pretty makeable.
Pretty easy. Yeah, and there's that lazy throw again by a handler.
Right.
Nice D by Madison, though.
I mean, the stall is 7 in the AUDL, so you don't have a lot of time, but certainly that's not the reason that they're turning the disc over. So
no, not at all, yeah. We got Wiseman here with the pull. He's definitely known for his big throws. Those friction gloves, I've never played with them, and no one did when I was playing. I don't know, maybe it's a young thing. I think I'm getting old.
Maybe so. I know as soon as the Japanese Buzz Bullets team started to make waves by beating all the top club teams in the U.S., everybody started buying gloves.
Started buying friction gloves.
They all wear them.
Well, you got to have the flair, to look cool. Look fly, as the kids say.
It's true. Yeah, they all say fly. That's what they say. I'm just kidding. All right, so tap it in here around to number 2. That is Ben Feldman. Big bid by Wiseman, a little late on it. And, wow, a big outside-in backhand. Nice shape on this throw.
Woo.
And guess who in the end zone?
I believe that's Grant's 4th goal. Third goal.
Third goal.
Yeah, and that throw was by number 10, Jay Drescher, who is a Minnesota Duluth alum. Duluth, like I said earlier, made college nationals last year with the 5 bids in the Central region. Jay is an extremely athletic player, played for Sub-Zero for a year, now plays Dragon Thrust in the mixed division. So it was a great throw, nice outside in. Grant with a lot of separation, as usual.
Yeah, and the outside-in throw is a little bit like a hammer. It goes up and it comes down quickly. It doesn't give the defender a lot of time to adjust. If it was a little inside-out, it would tend to pop up more and hang for a minute. But you can see the defender actually read it pretty well, Kevin Brown, but just had no time to close because when it's got that blade roll curve on it, it just comes right back down.
Yeah, those bladey hucks are definitely an advantage for the offense because the defender has to kind of try to read it by looking backwards, which is difficult.
Right, they're running to their left, looking backwards over their shoulder to the right. It's just difficult. So here's a pull, centering past Andrew Brown. Got Schleicher streaking deep, doesn't throw it. And here they give it to Wiseman underneath, who throws. High-risk shot to the end zone. Tyler Glenn, their best guy, goes up and rips it down. So I got a chance to talk to Nate Volkman before the game. He said Glenn is absolutely their best player. He can do everything, very athletic, very long, kind of the classic ultimate body type, just long and lean. Great mechanics, kind of a fluid motion downfield. You can see him just time this, goes up big off the left foot, and there's just no question.
Yeah, that was a great read and a great jump. Nice timing on that. Nice bit by Mike Peterson there. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, causing damage to the disc.
Yeah.
Nate Volkman just shouted up, "I told you so," about Tyler Glenn. We're going to have to get security to escort that man out.
Yeah, I believe Tyler was a freshman at Iowa in my 5th year. And yeah, he was just starting out, but he was a pretty good baller at that age still.
Wilson with the pull, throws a roller.
Looks like they're trying to maybe trap him on the sideline with the zone here, but
You'd think,
they get down there quick enough, I guess.
See, it looks like a man with Weber kind of doing his thing. Weber seems to be a very good opportunistic mark. And I think what he does is once the stall gets up to about 4, you'll see him adjust behind the disc and force upfield. So we haven't seen them get the stall on yet, really. But he did that with a lot of success against the Wildfire in our first showcase game of the year.
There was a nice outside-in throw by Kevin to Pat Niles. Pat Niles has been rather quiet today so far, but he is a big player for the Windchill.
And reset to number 1. That is Trosvig. Back to Trosvig up line, and let's see if he can score the goal. Here comes Big Weber.
They got to start looking at the clock, too. There's only 20 seconds left.
It's kind of amazing that they're still letting Weber be kind of a roamer on the mark. Big crossfield throw, and 13 is able to play his position and go up strong with 2 hands and rip that one down.
Yep, that's Jeff Trosvig there with a great outside-in throw. Nice shape on that one to number 13, Josh Schwa-Hemish. It's a drag and thrust connection there. Josh is just an incredible athlete who works extremely hard. Very fast, very athletic guy.
How good is Dragon Thrust?
Dragon Thrust is very good. They work extremely hard in the off-season. They all do acceleration. They work out as a team really hard, and they just all have a really good chemistry together.
What is acceleration? Is that a workout plan?
Acceleration is a program in Minnesota where basically they put you on treadmills and get you up to sprinting speed as fast as they can over. It's over about an 8-week period, so it's hard work. You definitely get dead legs after one of those workouts, so they definitely put the time in.
Interesting, okay.
So we got 11 seconds here.
Yeah, 11 seconds of the first. Peterson pull is it's just a little bit out of bounds, so Animal's going to center the disc. By the way, if you're at home and you want to join the conversation, hashtag AUDL on Twitter. We'll be checking that throughout the game and trying to answer any questions you might have. So 11 seconds left. Animal gets it downfield quickly. And a shot at the end zone here. They've got the matchup they want. Glenn goes up big and rips it down. So Tyler Glenn living up to the hype. They get the goal as time, actually there's time expiring. 1 second left, it looks like. What an awesome play. He's got a guy on his front and back.
Yep.
And he's just looking at the disc. He knows if he goes up at the right time, no one else is getting it. And look at this play.
And number 16 there, Strings, Brian Schoenrock, has probably the biggest vertical on our team. Just going up a little too early there and missing it.
Are you saying Strings could have did that?
Strings could have did that
Interesting.
on a good day. He was out in the sun all day watching Ultimate, so I'll put it on that.
Okay. At full health.
Full health. And it's interesting. Strings there played for Mankato. There's a lot of small colleges that really don't get a lot of hype when it comes to Ultimate around Minnesota. And, this team is built from really good players on small teams who really don't get the attention. So it's nice to see these guys playing at a high level.
So 1 second left here, and the big pull from Wiseman. They're going to leave 4 guys back just to guard the end zone. Let's see if they can get a throw off. Just catches and rips a flick. It looks like it might be a little bit short. They might be able to mack it in, though. And Weber is able to get position and rip that one down. So Madison is able to pull ahead by 1 and take the lead at the end of the first 8-7.
So at this time, we'd like to thank David for taking the time to talk with us. We really appreciate all of your inside information to the Minnesota Windchill.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. So
enjoy the rest of the game.
yeah, we'll do.
There's Weber, the bearded giant, doing his job and just boxing out, making the play. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Looks like they're painting this guy's hand. Is that something they do in Madison? Hand painting?
Chuck, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to tell you. I've been to a farmer's market here, but that's the extent of my peanut butter.
They're putting peanut butter. Interesting. Peanut butter hands. That's what they call that. All right, so at the end of the first quarter, I mean, it did see, you did kind of see them giving Wiseman the disc underneath, and he was taking high-risk shots at the end zone. One of them worked to Glenn. There was another hammer over the top that didn't work. And so far, it's been a very close game. That might be a good strategy for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that the Madison Radicals, they mentioned at the beginning that they're a slow starter team. They were going to try and work on coming out a little bit harder, a little bit faster. I'm not quite sure they accomplished their goal in that half as evidenced by the score. I believe that these two teams will keep it tight the entire time, but I think that's a little bit tighter of a margin than the Madison Radicals wanted to come out with.
Yeah, absolutely. So this woman trying to catch blades with peanut butter in her hands. That's what we do here in Madison on Friday night. She's having a good time. So moving into the second quarter here. Oh!
Well, with that amazing catch, we are going to we're going to cut to the highlights from the first quarter, since I'm not so sure we can top that.
So here we go, a little swing pass around, and that's the first big layout tee by the Radicals. A little down the line backhand catch deed by Animal. And here's a huck to Glenn. That was Kevin Brown to Tyler Glenn. And that was deed. So at the beginning of the game, we saw a lot of deeds by the Radicals. That zone actually looked halfway decent. I really do think the Windchill were kind of doing it to themselves on it, but in any event, they were getting turnovers on it. You can see here the pressure.
Yeah, and as a team, the Madison Radicals have one of the highest completion levels in the AUDL, 91.9%. So when you generate enough opportunities and you have a completion rate of that level, it's no wonder that the Madison Radicals are number 2 in the Midwestern Division right now.
That's a great point. So we're seeing a replay of that point where they broke the zone over the top of the hammer. Here's a backhand huck to Swain from Andrew Brown from the first half, and we are back in. So we're back live. Pool is out of bounds by the Windchill. The sun is setting. Beautiful looking sky tonight in Madison, and the lights are on. We're gonna settle in here for what looks to be a battle. So Andrew Brown, I'm sorry, that's Scullion with the disc in the middle of the field. Swings it to Andrew. Back to Scullion. And a couple break looks that he thinks better of. Settles for the underneath, and now Wiseman with the disc. Nice dump D there. Lots of pressure on the resets from Grant Lindsley. That could be an interesting matchup, Lindsley on Andrew Brown. It looks like Lindsley's bothering Andrew, and not a lot of people do when he's got the disc. Wow, and then just right on cue, Andrew just shreds his mark with a low backhand. Animal over the top to Andrew Brown, who's got to look at the end zone. Wow. And Andrew Brown and the receiver there, I'm not sure who that was, they sync up and just absolutely roast the defender. He overcommits.
That was to Nate Thibodeau.
Yeah, Thibodeau, wow. Let's see if we can get a look at this. So here's the throw. There was just a big fake that happened before this. Let's see if we can get a look at it. You can see he fakes the flick, and the whole defense shifts over to the right, and nobody picks up. Thibodeau. So just so you know, David Beckett, who's here from the Windchill, the announcer here, his Twitter, you can see it at the top of the screen there, I am David Beckett. So if you want to tweet him about anything, feel free. I think he'll be responding throughout the broadcast. And Kevin Brown with a big inside-out pull. And centering to Sealer. Schwa with the disc now. And nice defense downfield. They're playing. Looks like they're coming out a little junky. Wiseman is kind of picking up everybody deep. And a big backhand out to space. This has got to be what the Radicals were hoping they would do. And Wiseman easily skies him. Not a very good decision by the Windchill. Had Wiseman and Tyler Glenn in the area.
And a little overthrown. That was almost at the back of the end zone. There wasn't much space for anyone to do anything there.
Right. So Kevin Brown breaks it to Wiseman. Nobody cutting deep for him, though. Tyler Glenn with the disc. He's thinking about it, and he boosts it. Looking deep to number 80. And Pettit Scantling goes up big over the defender there and just tears it down. Back to Kevin Brown, who swings it around for the goal to number 3. That's ace, Clay Schlitz. Nice play there by Pettit Scantling.
Yeah, great read, great throw from Glenn there, showing off his versatility. He has 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 D so far this game, and a monster forehand huck from the hip.
Yeah, he's able to somehow just kind of carve out these interesting throwing lanes around the mark, over the stack. You know, throws that any coach would tell you not to throw. But you know, somehow he's able to just put these on right on the right spot to let his receiver get the best read on it. And you can see he's throwing right over basically the entire offense and defense. But he sees Pettit Scantling, a guy he trusts, and just puts it up to space. And it works out for him this time. So Pettit Scantling plays and captains at UW Parkside. It's his, I think it's their second year with an ultimate team at Parkside. And this is their first year that they made regionals, so he's pretty fired up for his college program. So centering the disc is number 45, Starren. And here's our zone again. They like Big Dave Weber on the mark. You can see him coming around here. And patiently moving the disc around, throwing it over the top, exploiting all the space that's available in this zone with no wind. So far, so good for the Windchill.
Joe, clear!
And Weber gets on the mark. Wow, a lot of pressure on that catch, but he makes the catch, and I think he was in. That's a goal for number 71. That is Nick Simonelli.
Thrown by Johnson, who I'm told his nickname is Prison Mike.
Prison Mike. No jokes. So Simonelli, 6 feet, 23 years old, Marquette University from Naperville, Illinois. Has played on Chicago Machine, it looks like. Played on Haymaker out of Chicago as well. And he is looking fierce. So the crowd is really starting to file in here. It's probably about almost 2/3 packed on the entire opposite side of the field from where we're broadcasting tonight. So I think a lot of folks finished up over at the College Nationals and now are making their way over here for the evening.
Great day for Ultimate, both in this city and just as a spectator.
Yeah, and this stadium, like we said, is right near downtown. It's kind of an amazing location. You can see the Capitol building right out the window here. Just a gorgeous spot. And a big outside-in pull here, fading in. Beautiful pull. Andrew Brown catches it and moves it to Scullion. And an immediate deep shot here is available. Not thrown. Animal's going to come underneath. And nobody is home on the far side of the field here. That is, I believe that is Schleicher. Scullion thinks about the hammer over the top. Andrew Brown looking for his IO break there. And Scullion. Wow, big high-risk flick around. And almost caught.
I believe Schleicher was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Schleicher almost made an outstanding catch there, but wasn't able to maintain possession. So, cocks in, thinks better of it there. And there haven't been a lot of really great, well-timed deep cuts for the Windchill. They are throwing some deep shots, but they're generally just to matchups. They're not really setting them up. Wow, big bid by Animal, but cannot get it. And Lindsley gets open easily underneath. And number 16 is open away. Big outside in, and Animal's in the area. Wow! What a huge catch by number 16, Brian Schoenreck, a.k.a. Strings. And I can see what we were talking about with his vertical. That was a massive skying goal for Strings. Let's take a look at this setup. So you can see Animal gets a really good read on this, sees it all the way, gets up nice and high, but it just doesn't matter. Look at how much higher Strings is. Incredible.
You know, they put the double team on Lindsley to try and prevent that throw, but even so, he got a nice around throw into the end zone. That was a great read, obviously, by the receiver. I'm sorry, that was Neil Hankey who threw that. Played for Iowa State University, also another CLX player.
I think that's Grant Lindsley. Is that, are you talking about this one?
Thank you, Chuck. I was looking at the previous throw.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Lindsley, that's a tough throw to keep control. I think that got away from him, but when you have to step out and throw that outside in backhand, a lot of guys pop that up, and he did that as well. There are only a few guys who really have that dialed in. One of them I can think of is Bart Watson. Another one, Boo Garcia, for those who know. And looks like kind of a junky defense here. They've got two guys in the back, and they force a turnover. Swain kind of throws into a tight lane. Feldman with the disc. And a timeout is called. So the Windchill get the turnover. Quick junk look that confuses the Radicals briefly, and they throw a turnover, and now they want to bring it in and talk and try to take care of the disc. 8 minutes to go here in the first half. And continues to be a close, hotly contested game. Madison 10, Minnesota 9.
Yeah, earlier in the game, it looked like the Minnesota Windchill were just having a little bit of difficulty keeping control of the disc offensively. So I certainly can't blame them for taking this opportunity to make sure they remain chilly, recognizing that they are contenders for this game, so obviously wanting to make the most of this opportunity.
And you can see they had two guys kind of roaming up front. Might have been like a 2-3-2. I'm not sure what that defense was exactly, but junked up in the front, two guys playing center field in the back, and not a lot of open lanes in the middle of the field. So a nice confusing look that forced just kind of a poor choice. So here we're seeing junk from the Radicals. And remember, in the AUDL, double teams are legal on the thrower. So Weber can come right up against him if he wants. Looks like he's going to hang back. And let's see if he goes no dump at some point. I think once the stall gets high, like I said, he will prevent the dump and force guys to just throw something upfield. So far, the Windchill have done the right thing here and kept the disc moving. I know the Wildfire struggled, I think, because they have some guys who like to hold on the disc a little more.
Yeah, waiting for the big throw downfield. You're absolutely right. Minnesota Windchill recognizing that it's going to take moving the disc to beat that double team.
All right, so here we see. I mean, that's the kind of throw that's not actually that hard, but it's a little high risk, and it's certainly not the easy reset that you would like. And that's what they force you to do with this little junky defense. So that, yeah, see, they deny that around, force you to throw something downfield.
Right, which has generated 2 turns for the Madison Radicals so far.
Yeah, so the Windchill are so far executing. They've thrown into a couple tight lanes and made the catches. And the whistle blows. Looks like 7 seconds and a stall. So a turnover. Number 68 from Madison, which is Ben Nelson, played for Tufts. Graduated 2012. Swings it around to number 4 underneath. It's Shrywise, excuse me. And Tim DeBile. Tim DeBile with the disc. Quick dish upfield. And a huck here. Trailing to the left. Wow, and a big left-handed catch by number 4, Pat Shrywise. Wow, and a nifty little I.O. flick out to Weber. Tough throw.
Yeah.
Had to bend it around the defender with that inside-out flick. A lot of guys blow that throw. They make the big skying catch and then return to orbit. and throw into a post, but he's somehow able to make this throw. Let's take a look at it.
Showing off both his throwing and catching abilities. You know, they weren't sure if Schreiweiss was going to be playing this game just because you'll notice his ankle is taped. I guess he had a very badly sprained ankle, but certainly hasn't been impacting his play tonight. He has been playing extremely well.
Yeah, that's a great point. Apparently, yeah, it's a kind of a rear ankle sprain right around the Achilles. Let's see. Looks like he got pretty good lift on that. So, as anybody who plays Ultimate knows, you're constantly playing with little nagging injuries. And you can see he's able to thread that out in front of number 11, the defender. That would have been Josh Klain. Klain had a good look at that and could have D'd it, but a nice throw. So here's the big pull from the Radicals. They're running down. And looks junky again. Big backhand hook here to number 8, who reads it perfectly and easily makes the catch. That's Patrick Jensen. Wow, and he steps through and breaks the mark with that high release backhand. Paco really made that look easy. Did the right thing there. He's 6'4" out of Winona State and just had his way.
Have you mentioned that Pat Jensen has freakishly long arms?
Freakishly long arms. That's what we're told.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah, Patrick Jensen not.
But I think if you watch this little easy over the top, wait for it. There's the catch. Let's see those arms in action.
Extends his freakishly long arm around the mark. Scores the goal. A tip of the cap to you, sir. And the Radicals are maintaining their lead here by 1. 6:33 left in the first half. And we'll see if the Windchill can make a run and take the lead here before the end of the first half. I believe it's 40 seconds between points, is that correct?
Correct. 40 seconds between points, and then you have 20 seconds to pull. So at maximum, a minute.
Right. So Andrew Brown with the disc in the middle of the field. They sag number 6 out into the lane. So you can see the dump defenders just sagging the lane so that Andrew Brown doesn't have an open side look, but a free reset is available. Now they're straight into the double team. Andrew Brown steps forward, gets contact, 10-yard penalty. So Andrew Brown knows the rules, knows what to do, how to draw contact. He's a little like Kobe Bryant in that way. And he gets the foul. Benji Karen with the disc, shreds it up through the middle, very high-risk throw, but Animal gets it for him. And here's Schleicher with the disc. Fire is called. I'm assuming they're moving to man now. And Animal cocks and delivers a deep shot to Tyler Glenn. Defender is in the area. Oh my goodness, Glenn is having a game tonight. He's just so much higher than the defender. The defender reads this well, actually accelerates and takes position, gets the inside position here, but these guys are not playing at the same level. Watch Glenn just rise up here over number 16, that Strings again.
I have to say, Glenn makes his teammates look good. Not that there was anything particularly wrong with that throw, but I think against even just a slightly lesser receiver that was so hotly contested by the Windchill that I'm sure it would have been a D for the Windchill.
Yeah, Animal saw something he liked. Just put it out nice and flat. I can see why he threw it. Why he threw it. So Strings not able to get. Yeah.
Had position.
This is a great game so far. I'm really fired up to be here and watching these two teams compete. So Wiseman with the big backhand pull. He's got so much power in his backhand. He's able to release that almost at shoulder height and just drive it all the way to the back. So a junky look up front again. Wiseman playing center field and threads the needle through the middle. And they're off to the races here. Fire is called. They swing it to the middle to number 3.
Niles.
Matt Niles with a disc. Let's go White. And trying to draw a contact there. No call, however. And they're still in the zone. They're still double teaming the disc opportunistically. And now it looks like they might be settling in. So lots of pressure right now for Madison. Minnesota is being very patient. Disc to the middle here, looking for that flick around. DeBile's able to contain it with his mark. And here's Big Weber. You can see him starting to get even on the mark. And just threw it a little bit behind the receiver, so they get what they want here. Madison's just putting a lot of pressure, making them make throws under pressure, and eventually they do just throw a turnover there. Wiseman wants the disc, and they let him get it, as is the game plan. Double team is in effect here, and contact is called. So very frustrating if you're on D and you get contact called there. You got him right where you want him, and then all of a sudden, 10 yards in, immediately he checks it in and bombs it. Wow, what a catch by number 4. Swings it around to Weber for the goal.
Schreiweiss to Weber again.
Schreiweiss goes up huge with the left hand and rips down over 2 defenders. Very athletic play by Schreiweiss.
That is the Schreiweiss-Weber connection for the second time today.
That ankle looks pretty good to me. He's just crushing people right now in the air. So let's take a look at this. So here's the throwaway. So you can see the guy, you know, the receiver's open, but he threw without getting his feet set kind of and just off target.
You know, the Minnesota Windchill, as a team, they have a completion rate of 87%. So we've talked a lot about how the Madison Radicals defense can generate opportunities for them defensively. But one thing we haven't talked about is if you have a team that has a completion rate around 87% and you make them throw after throw, statistically, odds are they're just going to throw it away on their own at some point, and that is what happened in that last play.
She ain't lying. So here's a look into the Windchill huddle here. You can see the romantic love between these gentlemen, young men, athletes, spiritual warriors on a path. Fran Drescher's son. Very famous actress, Fran Drescher.
The Minnesota Windchill are appearing tonight for the first time all together. They've, week after week, have had various players from their roster missing, so they're pretty excited tonight to just have everyone all together for a change.
It's true. They've got a powerful roster. I mean, those Minnesota guys cannot be discounted. Maybe we should run down who the Minnesota guys are, just so we know who to keep an eye on here. For myself and for the viewer at home tonight. Let's see here. Minnesota. So we got Mike Peterson, number 23. Tyler McKean, number 27. You know, the captain, Peterson. Did I say that? I did say that. I feel like there's one more. I'll have to dig it up. But, you know, a couple real difference makers. And, you know, remember, these guys are coming off their college season. They're in top shape. They're ready to run. They're never tired. And those guys are always the fastest sprinters on the field, the biggest jumpers. They may not have all the skills of the complete game yet, but it's invaluable when you got roster space. So another junky look for Madison, and the deep shot is there. Swain is playing a step under here, probably smart for him. And so far, a lot of good deep cuts downfield that are well defended, and they're starting to bookend a little bit. Wow, high stall count. The reset is there to number 21, Eric Olson, and nearly turned there. Nice catch by Trosvig. Trosvig does something silly. I can't believe a travel wasn't called. I think the fake was so hard that the referee looked away.
That even the ref looked away.
And Sealer with an an outside-in flick down line. The defender falls down, loses his footing there. So an uncontested goal. I think
we're going to see that fake again.
Look at this. Look at Trosvig. How did he hold on to that disc? And you can see he took about 5 steps.
Pretty egregious travel.
While the entire space-time continuum returned to its normal configuration. That was a massive fake by Trosvig. That guy's fun to watch. Trosvig, let's see. How old is Trosvig? We're going to get our stat.
He is 26.
26.
6 feet tall. Played at the University of Minnesota, Duluth. And
that makes so much sense. The guys that have very unorthodox mechanics and that do, very interesting throwing and just basically the things that he does, those guys almost always come out of smaller schools where they had to do a lot and they didn't have the top coaching and they just had to make it up as they go. And a lot of those guys turn out to be just outstanding and very difficult to mark because nobody's used to it.
He also played for Dragon Thrust.
Oh, okay. One thing I will say about playing co-ed if you're a men's player is that it does teach you how to throw with touch and throw with a little more accuracy because throwing to women really is different. They don't move at the same speed and a lot of them aren't the same size. So a lot of guys are not good at playing co-ed because they don't have enough touch and they're just not that accurate. They just throw bullets. So here we go with Andrew Brown in the middle of the field. Swings it around to Nate Volkman. Volkman around, nearly D'd there. Nice bid by number 20. That is Neil Hankey. And a little over the top. Razzle dazzle. And Andrew Brown calling for the disc, gets it. And as always, does exactly the right thing, moves it upfield. Wow, and when you've got Andrew Brown quarterback in your offense, good luck throwing a junk. I mean, he's just so calm. A lot of times all he's doing is moving the defenders who are downfield. He's not even looking at the guy he's going to throw to. And the shape and the control of his throws are just top notch. This guy is a nightmare to mark.
With 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this second quarter, we are at 14-11 Madison Radicals.
And Madison is starting to put the boot down here a little bit. You can see that they expect to win this game. They look very confident. And you can see them start to impose their will here a little bit. Like we said, they've won twice against this team, and they're towards the top of the conference, and Minnesota's towards the bottom. So they're starting to just establish themselves.
Right, but the thing to also note is how tightly contested the Midwest Division is. Even though the Madison Radicals are towards the top of the division, all of the games between games within the Midwest Division have been tight.
On a nice little throw up the middle here. Wow, nearly misplayed, but Sealer's able to regain his footing and make the catch. Sealer throws a blade to the back of the end zone. Tyler Glenn closing, but cannot get there in time. So a near turnover, but Sealer always calm, always collected. A lot of people say he looks bored or depressed when he's out there, but he's never in a panic. Gets his footing. And what do you do after you get your footing? You turn and you throw a blade. Boom. Look at that. Tough throw, especially against Glenn. I mean, Glenn, you don't want to leave any margin of error. That's probably why he kept that so vertical. If you flatten it out against Glenn, you're going to get deep.
And I believe that was to Josh Hemish, making that Hemish's second goal for the evening.
Yeah, so Schwa getting it done tonight. One guy you may be noticing is not playing tonight is Riggles. Scott Riggles, number 12 for the Madison Radicals. He is a gigantic guy. He was a big force to be reckoned with against the Wildfire. He fractured his elbow. Apparently he's going to be back next week, which is kind of incredible.
That's impressive.
Makes me wonder if there's any steroid usage or some illegal proceedings. I'm just kidding. But anyway, Riggles apparently has the fastest 70-yard sprint on the team, and he's like 6'6". I don't understand. It's like Usain Bolt time over there. So the Radicals move it to Scullion, looking downfield. Benji Kieran with the disc. And he's got a shot at the end zone to number 10, Schleicher. It's touched. Wow, nice D. The 10s match up. That's Jay Drescher getting the D, the touch D against Schleicher. That's a really tough D, going away, tough angle, very, very short window to make the play, and he does. Reaches out and just pokes it far enough away that Schleicher can't catch the table scraps here. Very risky.
Yeah, if you're not going to catch your Ds, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And a big deep shot here. Wow, huge layout D by number 29, Nate Thibbs. This guy is still exploding, making huge shoulder-high bids for Ds. Does this guy ever age? Thibodeau is incredible. So some pressure. You can see they're sagging the mark behind the dump to cause some problems with the resets, and it almost forces a turnover. Scullion looks downfield to number 7, Animal. There's a call, however, and I think it's a travel, which is a turnover. So that's going to come all the way back, I believe, to the scene of the crime. And unlike in club, where we get to talk about it for a while, and then we always get the disc back, even though we traveled, here in the Big Boy Professional League, it's a turnover. So you better keep your foot down. And the disc checked in here. Kieran on the mark against Austin Lean. Wow, and a floaty break. Misplayed by Wiseman, however. And Lindsley with the disc. Throws a little push pass to reset it. And the swing around to number 20. It's Hanky. Hanky dishes it up line. And the crowd is trying to trick the Windchill players into throwing before the clock expires. They did a little 5-4-3-2-1. Big layout D there by number 44, Scullion.
6 seconds left.
And he throws it to no one in particular.
Wow.
And that will be the end of the first half. Pretty exciting end.
Yeah, absolutely. 14-12 Madison Radicals. So let's talk a little bit about who did what this first quarter.
Absolutely.
You know, one thing that you said in the game, the highlighting game against the Madison Radicals versus the Windy City Wildfire, is that the Madison Radicals is a faceless army. You're going to see a lot of people unilaterally. They're just a good team. No one standout player, and the statistics from tonight really show it. I think we have Glenn with 3 goals, and other than that, and Weber, it's kind of just spread across the board. The same with the assists and D's as well.
Yeah, certainly Tyler Glenn's goals have been the most exciting goals. They're just throwing these 50-50 balls flat and out in front of him, and he's going up and just ripping it down mostly against strings, it seemed like. So it's got to be the matchup that the Windchill would like, but unfortunately it's not working out. Glenn's too good.
Right, absolutely. And as Dave Beckett told us, Lindsley has been quite a player to watch. He currently has 3 goals and 1 assist to his name. The other top scorer would be Hemish with 2 goals in the first half.
Yeah, Hemish, very good opportunistic player. He's always working hard. He seems to be in the right place at the right time, and he's doing a lot of the right things in the first half.
So a very exciting game this first half, and I'm sure it's going to continue to be very, very exciting during the second half. You know, in the previous games, the Minnesota Windchill versus the Madison Radicals, the margin of difference has not been that great, so I think it'll be a tight game up until the end.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, I think this could end up being kind of a battle royale. I'm not sure who's, it may be as these long games just drag on and drag on. A lot of times the younger guys tend to hold up better than the older guys, and that may be what happens. The Windchill might be able to get a second win and push through and pull the big upset.
Absolutely. So during this halftime, we're going to go to some highlights from the second quarter, showing you the best of the best, and then we'll come back to game time.
All right. So here are the highlights from the first half, Madison versus Minnesota. Fancy graphics, always at the AUDL. By the way, hashtag AUDL. If there's anything you want us to address, we're going to check the Twitter account during the halftime and see what's there. So here's that big huck to Mike Swain from Andrew Brown early on. Misplayed by Swain. Another big backhand away to Lindsley here. You can see Lindsley kind of hand-checking Andrew Brown, but it's not called, makes the play. Lindsley's such a savvy player for being as young as he is. And here you can see Wiseman beating his man up line for the goal. And here's the first of a couple big layout Ds in those junk defenses that Madison was running. That one by Scullion. And here's Mike Swain with a little air bounce backhand. Here's the second of the big layout Ds. And Weber going up huge for the goal. Wow, and he keeps his feet in too. He's a really underrated player. He looks like he's not even trying, but he's out there making big plays, beating guys in the air, beating guys on the mark. And just very tough to handle.
As always, buy one, get one free beverages at the Roman Candle Pizzeria with your Radicals.
And here we see a throwaway by the Radicals. Moving back to the middle here. And a shot to the end zone to Grant Lindsley. Grant Lindsley was really doing a lot of the right things here. Backhand around from Tyler Glenn. That's that one. That was a flick mark. He's able to stretch his long arms around, throw with the right shape for a goal. He's really a talented young player. And here we see a little push pass just for fun. These guys like to have fun. Big bid by Wiseman, missed. And then the big outside in backhand for the goal. And is Lindsley is he ever not open? I mean, that's Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown is a very athletic, very intelligent defender. And he's just beat by a mile. Here's one of those skying catches by Tyler Glenn. Once he got calibrated, he really just started to win every disc that was up high. A lot of fun to watch. And here's a step around flick break. Played well by Schwa. And here's another just absolutely freakishly good catch by Tyler Glenn. And this was with time expiring here at the end of the first quarter. Right off the reception of the pull, he just rips a flick to the end zone, and Weber's able to D it. Here you can see Andrew Brown just completely decimating a defense with one fake. And here we see the height of the Madison Radicals just causing trouble. Here's one of those hucks from Tyler Glenn. He's got so much power, just drives his right foot forward, kind of rips it with a lot of the power coming from his hip, and he's able to just drill it all the way, almost all the way to the end zone from the opposite side of the field. And one thing we did notice is when the Windchill went over the top, when they were throwing those hammers, for the most part they were complete. In fact, I can't think of a time that it was turned over, and it really caused problem with the zone. So we'll look to see if more of those hammers come in the second half. Here's the near catch by Schleicher. He probably wishes he could have that one back. And Hankey down the line. Here's Lindsley setting up that big around backhand. Floats on him a little bit, but Strings is able to make him look good by going up huge over Animal. And here's a huck to number 4, to Schreiwise. He really came on late in the first half, Schreiwise did. And this is not easy to do. Huck it over Dave Wiseman. But this huck is complete to number 8, Patrick Jensen, a.k.a. Paco Taco. And Animal sees something he likes, throws it out to space, and of course, Tyler Glenn coming down with it. It's really been Tyler Glenn versus Grant Lindsley, it seems like.
Coming Thursday night, that's Thursday night, May 30th.
Nice layout catch there. And that's unfortunate for the Radicals. Uncontested catch for Jensen. And there's Sealer almost falling down but regaining his footing and throwing the blade to the end zone for the goal. This is a nice looking backhand huck from Lindsley. Gets out nice and wide, nice and low. Unfortunately, that was run through deed. Real nice play by Thibodeau. And I believe that was the end. There's the Capitol building. We can see it right from the field. Beautiful downtown Madison, which is the capital of Wisconsin, which is the cheese state. It's made of cheese, that building.
And Chuck, I don't know about you, but I have taken ample opportunities already since arriving here this afternoon to test out the truth about that statement.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Cheese curds. Three times.
Is that Canadian or is that Wisconsin or is it some hybrid?
I'm afraid I don't know, but we do have some here.
Do it.
Bucky Badger's cheese curds. So proof.
That looks good.
It's delicious. You can have some.
Cheese curds in a bag. Wow. Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us for the first half here on UX TV. If you want to keep watching, if you want to check out the second half, you can simply click on purchase to get the second half of this game. Or if you've already purchased the Rivals package for the whole season, you can just log in. So click on My Games, log in, and you'll be able to see the second half of this game.
Sounds great. So far, it's a really, really good game.
So, Chuck, what are you expecting to see in the second half in terms of score? Do you think that they're going to keep it close, or do you think one team's gonna pull ahead?
It seems like the throwers and the receivers are starting to sync up more, so I'm hoping to see some more fireworks going away. Nobody's really challenged Lindsley deep yet, and certainly when Tyler Glenn gets a step deep, you throw if you're on the Radicals. So I'm hoping to see those two really do battle. It seems like the junk is working well for Madison, so I expect them to keep doing that. And I'm not sure defensively. I don't know. What do you expect from the Windchill?
Defensively, from the Windchill, I would expect them to play just a little bit tighter on receivers such as Glenn. Even though, as we saw earlier, Peterson played extremely well while reading the disc, but still wasn't quite able to D that disc away from Glenn. So I think they're either going to change up their strategy and just force him under, or they're going to put maybe one of their bigger defenders on Glenn.
Yeah, I would think you would just want to push him under. He's good with the disc, but he takes high risk throws. He's throwing over the stack, over the defender's head, around the mark. He tries to do a lot with the disc. A lot of young guys do.
Without a doubt, you are correct. He is a much bigger threat in the end zone as a receiver.
Yeah, I agree.
And then defensively for the Radicals, I think you hit the nail on the head. They are definitely going to keep going with that junk defense. It's been working well for them in many different ways. So I think that they're just going to keep doing that. It'll be interesting to see if the Minnesota Windchill are able to kind of adjust their offense to prevent themselves from throwing junk up the field. But as you said earlier, part of the reason their zone is so effective is because there's only 7 seconds in the stall, and so you have to get the throws off. They're not throwing anything outlandish. It's just when you throw it up the middle of the field, it seems like there's a Radical ready to receive it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you're getting to look here at the crowd that is assembled here at Breese-Stevens Stadium in Madison, just really packing in. And it's a gorgeous night. It's probably still right around 60 degrees, nice clear night. Beautiful sunset and sky that we're able to see from the stadium. And the lights are on. The fans are happy. A lot of them been out in the sun all day watching Ultimate, and now they're going to spend the evening watching the pros. So coming up in the second half, we're going to have the Madison announcer join us so that we don't sound so silly, so uneducated about the Madison Radicals.
Absolutely. So another guest announcer for us here this second half.
Yes, Jeremy Weiss. So he's joining us. We get a look right inside the huddle of the Madison Radicals. You can see Kevin Brown looking stoic and upright as always. And they're bringing it in, getting ready for the second half. So welcome, Jeremy. And you can see Wriggles there in the white. Wriggles not playing tonight. So welcome, Jeremy. We're glad to have you in the booth.
Hi, yeah, it's great to be here. The Radicals seem to be playing pretty well tonight. I'm really excited for this second half.
Yeah, do you think they're more of a second half team?
Yes, I do think so. I think that they play a lot of zone. It's a 2-4-1 typically, and they usually make some really nice adjustments out of halftime to really stop some of the blades that usually are kind of hitting those wing spots.
Yeah, they ran that against the Wildfire, and it was really effective, which surprised me because they had, Brody Smith, who kind of has all the throws. How are they able to stop deep shots with only one guy deep? It just seems
they're really good. They're really good at communicating. Wiseman's usually back there, and he'll bring one of the wings back to help him out when people flood the deep area.
Yeah, it's very effective. You'd think on a field this wide with throwers of this caliber that wouldn't work, but it does work. It's worked this game. It certainly worked in our first showcase game as well.
And my question is, how do they look in comparison to their previous games against the Minnesota Windchill? On par, or do you think they're looking a little tighter or a little looser this game?
I think they're looking pretty good on offense. I think they're making a lot of big shots to the end zone, and they're trusting their cutters to get up and get big, and the cutters, for the most part, have been quite successful at doing that. On defense, I think they can work a little bit better together. Minnesota's been working it pretty easily through this zone. They might have had time to adjust.
And just so you know, watching at home, offsides with call, which is why they moved ahead.
Right, so they get it all the way to the middle of the field. Windchill in nice position. So far, so good. Nice and patient with the resets. Great downfield pressure by the Radicals. And I believe contact was called. 10-yard penalty immediately assessed. So foul on Pettit-Scantling. And into the red zone. Big flick around here. Nice throw out to space to number 11. And so far, they're having a hard time getting downfield. Nice inside break. And they're right in the red zone here. The pressure is amped up. Madison looking really good coming out of half with the defense. If it hadn't been for that offsides, this would be almost a perfect defensive point. And Stahl's getting high, throws out to space. Wow, nice catch over the top. Let's see if we can see who that was. That was kind of a desperation throw. I believe the stall was at 5, moving up, and there was no reset available, so he just throws it out to space. That's number 3, Pat Niles. Barely over the diving, outstretched arms of the Madison defender. An Animal right there trying to get the D. Wow, off his fingertip it looked like. And caught by number 11. That's Klain, Josh Klain, University of Minnesota. So thank goodness he's not at Nationals for the Windchill. He's able to come in and make a crazy.
And that is his second goal for the evening.
Yeah, I think Klain might come on here. He's highly scouted on the college scene. And I'll bet he's got the goods at the pro level as well. So hashtag AUDL, if there's any questions you guys have, any incorrect information, anything you want us to address in the broadcast. And getting set, here's the pull from Minnesota. Nice air on this pull all the way to the middle of the end zone. Centering to Andrew Brown. He's got a couple deep cuts. Looks like Glenn's coming under. And Scullion will hit him out to the forehand side. And a little miscommunication downfield by Madison. They're really not getting the looks they need going away. However, right now Thibodeau has been poached. He is all alone, and they turned it over on what just looked like a throwing error, Eagles. Is that correct?
Yeah, it looks like it, just a little bit short.
Yeah, didn't quite get his legs under him on that throw. So swings it out to number 2. It's Feldman. Forces flick here. And there's Lindsley with the disc. This is the matchup we wanted to see, Lindsley versus Glenn. The 2 alphas. Throwing it downfield, little give and go. Nice switch by the Radicals. The Radicals are very opportunistic with double teams, with switches, with no dump marks. They seem to be doing a lot of little strategic adjustments on the fly. So far, though, Minnesota is having no problem moving the disc. And Lindsley is wide open on the open side. How does he get so open? It's just nonstop all day. Never really a contested catch. Just makes it look so easy. Let's see if we can get a look at how he set that cut up against Tyler Glenn. So maybe, Jeremy, you can tell us a little bit about Tyler Glenn and how good this guy is, what his background is. Where does this guy come from? He's absolutely phenomenal.
Well, he's been a leader for Madison Club for the last year or two, and he's just really been that all-star cutter that they need, both going out and under.
And is it so? Madison Club, I believe, is that the team that's been more or less led by Hector Valdivia?
That is correct. Madison Club and Sub-Zero, Minnesota's club team, have a heated rivalry, and they go at it every summer. So a lot of the players are shared here, and this is a really great matchup.
Yeah, and I know as zen as Hector Valdivia seems, he hates losing. He's always a fierce competitor, a lot of fun to watch. So the swing pass out to Andrew Brown, to his brother Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown playing at UW Milwaukee, I believe, and they had a real nice season this year. They were at D3 Nationals. Not sure how they finished, but I know they were one of the top D3 teams in the country this year. And, of course, Andrew Brown went to Wisconsin. The Hodags, always one of the top teams. So swinging it around to number 4, that's Schreiwise. And he gets it off the line, looking for Andrew Brown, and there it is.
Looks like the Windchill's playing a little bit tighter at this point, but the Radicals are doing a good job of just patiently waiting for the cut they want to open up.
Yeah, Swain gets the disc. We haven't seen a lot from him. He was an absolute force against the the Wildfire, scoring what seemed like a half dozen goals at least. Pretty quiet tonight, however. So there's Andrew Brown, looks at the scuba, thinks better of it. Stall count's getting high. Nice, patient, around backhand by Andrew Brown. What's new? And here's a wide open Animal down the line. So they swing it all the way around, keep that motion going, and once you're beat, you're beat. Animal makes his man pay. So Animal, let's talk about Animal. Who is this guy? How did he get so good? He's so young. How did he get so good?
So Tom Animal Annan is one of the leaders of the Hodags. He was with them when they won their championships in 2007 and I believe 2008 as well. And he's been a leader of Madison Club. He's a real tour de force in the Madison community.
Interesting. Is he well liked, or is he one of those guys that everybody's just tired of losing to?
No, everybody loves Animal.
Nice. That's rare. The guys that are winning sometimes are not particularly well liked, but when you get that synergy of charisma and also competitiveness, it's pretty cool. It can be as kind of a spokesman for the sport. All right, so the big pool, keeping it moving, not letting the defense settle here. Nearly D'd on that little up the middle throw, but so far so good for the Windchill. They swing it around the cup. And this looks like that two. Is this the 2-4-1 that we were talking about before, Jeremy?
Yeah, it looks like it.
And Weber just kind of following the disc, hoping to clamp it down with a double team or a no-dump mark on a high stall count. Wow, big diving bid. Barely missed there by Madison and caught by number 3. That's Pat Niles. And trying to be very patient here. Little give and go. And they do end up getting the goal. That's number 45, I believe, which is Starren, John Starren from Iowa State. He's a CLX guy. So they came out very quick against that zone. Looks like they were trying to basically never let it set, break it up the middle, and just bounce, just never let it settle in. That seemed to be effective.
Yeah, I feel like that was also their strategy last point. Just one missed throw kind of prevented them from a similar goal. If you noticed, it looked like Olsen, who 21, the one who threw for the goal, kind of had a few options. We can see it right here.
Awesome bid there.
Yeah. So it looks like he had 2 open Windchill players to choose from there.
Absolutely.
So tonight's field conditions are about as good as they can be for Ultimate. And so this 2-4-1 zone is not as effective as it has been when it's been windier and not as nice out.
Right, and this is the only grass stadium in the AUDL. So I know the guys love playing on grass. Nothing against those real high-level turfs, but there's just nothing that compares to playing on the grass.
The Indianapolis Alley Cats also have a grass stadium.
Oh, no.
Kuntz. Yeah, Kuntz Stadium.
Hashtag my bad. Big shot away here to Wiseman, who hustles and runs it down. And was that Volkman? I believe that was Nate Volkman carving up the field with a nifty little inside flick.
You know, Chuck, Nate Volkman has also lived in my attic.
Really?
No,
We've got
not really.
But
I did play on Spring League with him.
I've babysat for Nate Volkman. And let me tell you, don't do it. His daughters. What a nightmare. I'm just kidding. They're very sweet girls. I think his girls are here tonight. He's got 2 daughters, and his wife is here as well. She's also a player. Oh, you know what? That wasn't Nate Volkman, I don't believe. Did you see it through that one? I was not able to catch it. You can see, Wiseman is so talented. I think if he maybe reins it in a little bit on the turnovers, he should be just pretty unstoppable. He's got great speed, great size, reads the disc well, all the throws. What are your thoughts on Wiseman? You've seen him play a lot, I'm sure.
Wiseman holds down the defensive line, and in really windy games or bad conditions, he will move off to the offensive line because of his huge throws. You can't get deep enough to stop his hooks.
Yeah, that's always kind of unnerving as a defender. Wow, interesting release. Just steps around, flicks to the end zone to number 3, and there's just nothing the D can do. Outstanding throw by the Windchill. And that must have been Trosvig. I could be totally wrong.
Maybe we can see that again. I'm not sure who threw that.
That was Trosvig. Nobody would throw
Trosvig,
something that crazy looking, other than Jeff Trosvig, number 1 for the Windchill. You can watch. We see the replay. Pump fakes the backhand, and before he even gets his right foot around on the ground, he's flicking to the end zone. Unbelievable power. Here he is. He sets it up and just boom off 1 foot. It doesn't turn over at all. He drives it a good 60, 65 yards on a rope. And if you're that defender on the Radicals, you got to be just thinking, what in the world am I supposed to do against that?
What in the world could they do? As you mentioned earlier, Jeremy, part of the reason that they're so effective with this zone is that they're very good at communicating. But the Windchill have been going so quickly that it's very hard to talk fast enough to counter that.
You can see some shenanigans going on up in the stands. I'm not sure who that guy was, but
he's trying to get a wave going. Yeah.
Very athletic, whoever he is, yeah. So Andrew Brown looking to throw it through and gets it. Oh my goodness, it's macked by Nate Volkman. Holy smokes.
We're going to see that one.
And Andrew Brown with the disc. Back to Nate Volkman, the man of the hour. Incredible play. And a nice tight inside throw. Wiseman chooses to run it down. Wow, this Madison Radicals team is getting more and more exciting to watch, and we got to get another look at that Mac. That's the first time I've ever seen an intentional Mac by a guy who's done a lot of freestyle, done a lot of different kinds of playing, throws from all different kinds of positions. He's an outstanding disc golfer and a great father, Nate Volkman.
Volkman has all of the throws that you could possibly imagine. He tries everything. This is a practiced Mac.
Look at this. Just soft hands, knows exactly what he's doing. Incredible. And Scullion absolutely ready to catch at all times because he knows that was on purpose. Mike Swain is yelling up to us. Nate Volkman, no mistakes for Nate Volkman. Incredible. We'll have to find out if Andrew Brown intentionally threw that too far out in front of Nate Volkman. Wouldn't surprise me, though. That guy doesn't miss too often. So they're back in their 2-4-1. The flick around out to space. Well played by the Windchill. And another wrong-footed flick down the line by Trosvig, I believe. And a nice touch throw out to space, challenging Tyler Glenn to make the play. Wow, what an awesome game this is turning into. Just a total thrill to watch on offense. So let's get a look at these.
Yeah, both teams moving so quickly, it's hard to keep up defensively.
Here's Sealer. And you know what's hard is setting a pivot foot, so why bother? Just throw it before you have to. That's what Sealer did right there.
Wow, he looks completely disinterested in the outcome of his throw.
You can see how when the pressure's on. And here's another wrong-footed flick down the line from Trosvig. This guy just, you can never rest on the mark. You can never downfield just relax. When Trosvig's got the disc, you're in trouble. And it looked like Glenn was, about a half step from a big layout D there.
So apparently both teams had very effective halftime speeches. Jeremy, do you know who would have been giving the halftime speech?
It could have been any of the captains, really. They kind of have different roles. Animal gives solid advice. Wiseman is always cheering, riling up the crowd. So,
and the scuba over the top there to Scullion from Andrew Brown. Scullion winds and delivers a big backhand. And Wiseman's playing this body here and goes up easily for the skying catch downfield, and then just a little barbecue backhand for the goal. Man, Wiseman is just looking very confident on the field right now. You can see he sees the disc go up and he says, well, I could sky this guy, but I might as well get position too. I mean, it's Friday night. I got nothing better to do. Look at how much higher he is. Just great height, great reading. And here comes insult to injury, the little dish backhand.
These points are taking the lesser part of a minute, Chuck. If we keep this up, this is going to be the highest scoring game in the AUDL. That's only if we keep up at this pace.
We should get our stat guy on that to find out what the highest total score is in the AUDL to date. And we're going to go back to last season as well, because we got lots of interns here. And these guys need to work.
We're going to get all of them working.
Also, hashtag AUDL if you happen to know. Save us the time and money.
Or you can connect with us directly on Twitter. Both of our Twitter handles are up above the score bar on the screen.
So the big pull here. And coming down Junkie one more time. And Trosvig with the disc. Anytime number one's got the disc, be ready. Nice pressure right now from the Radicals. Forcing a lot of resets. Nice guard, nice pressure on the dump. Able to get the reset anyway. And here's a little replay of that tight margin. Or I'm sorry, no, we're live. So this is right through the cup, a little high release flick. Wow, nearly D'd there by number 17, Glenn. But the Windchill look very comfortable jailbreaking after they get through the cup. They're really making, causing a lot of damage once they get through. So here's Trosvig thinking about who knows what. And let's see what he does this time. Throws the turnover. Pettit Scantling with the full layout. Out, a big floaty throw out to space. And Pettit Scantling saw it the whole way. And now Swain resets to Tyler Glenn.
And Swain with an amazing catch. Looked like he had already fallen. Still managed to pull that in.
Yeah, and Mike Swain, by the way, in our last showcase game that involved, National Spotlight game that involved the Radicals, we heard that he could do a front somersault over 13 people, I believe, lying down. Am I right about that?
12 or 13.
All right, let's say 12, just so I don't look so silly again. Turns out he can actually do it. Somebody sent us the video, and I talked to Mike today. He said he might do it today if he scores a goal and the game is in hand. Although, hopefully it's never in hand. Hopefully we're right down to the wire. Here's that awesome D by Pettit Scanlon. And there's the nice, wow, tough catch for Swain. Kevin Brown didn't give him a lot to work with. He was able to make the play.
We've got some fans with their shirts off across the way. Chuck, can you see what's written on their chest?
I cannot tell. Let's see. We'll have to get a camera on those boys. And Lindsley, nice read by Lindsley. Overthrown right down the line. He's able to just go up and catch it before the defense, before Weber closes in on him. So another junkie set. There's a lot of space out to the wings here. I'm not sure why they're not just throwing hammers over the top. I mean, it is wide open down the line. But so far, they're keeping the disc right side up and just trying to move through the cup. Under pressure there. And, wow, right before Wiseman's able to turn around, the throw for the goal. Nice play by the Windchill. So the San Jose Spiders are tuning in. They say the refs are doing a pretty good job this game. We agree.
Except for that one missed travel call, Chuck.
And here we get a look at these guys.
So Jeremy's pointing out it's Radicals backwards. Jeremy, any insight as to why they would be spelling it backwards?
No.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Could use a mirror or something to make that make sense. So what is Radicals backwards? Slackadar. Slackadar.
Slackadars.
So the Slackadar guys are out tonight here in Madison. Big S on the
Slackadar.
left.
There we go.
I'm not sure I recognize a single one of those guys, and that's probably a good thing. Big flick pull here. And Nate Volkman able to get there in time to center it to Andrew Brown. And nobody on the mark. Now they're starting to close in here. I believe that's Lindsley on the mark. Wow, he steps out and nearly gets a piece of that backhand. Sculling around the Animal. Deep shot is there if he wants it. Well played by Strings, though. Nice holster. And big pressure here. And a layout D by Strings. I'm not sure if he saw Strings coming in on the right shoulder there, but nice play by Strings. And the double team, it looks like a timeout was called. I thought it might have been contact. Very physical marks. But a timeout is called by the Windchill. So they are within one, looking to even the score at 19 with 3:50 to go here in the third quarter. And so far, this has been an outstanding game. Really fun to watch.
Yeah, 3 minutes, 50 seconds in the third quarter, and we are still within 1 point of each other. Madison Radicals up 19, Minnesota Windchill 18. That was a great D.
Stay safe and stay radical.
Stay Slackadar.
Stay Slackadar. Yeah, I'm not sure Andrew Brown saw how close Strings was on that play. But he had the inside line there. He was on his right shoulder and didn't give up his position. Nice play by him. A lot of times in that position, Migos, I know you probably are aware of this too, it's hard to not foul as the receiver starts to close in. And Strings did a really good job of just staying on his line, maintaining position, and getting the disc without causing physical contact on the other player.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredibly disheartening to get a clean D like that, but make contact on the way down, which so often results in the disc going back to the thrower. So you're right, he did a good job of just making sure that it was recognizably clean.
Right, and it helps to be rail thin. Just going to throw that out there. Lindsley with the disc, double team. Very patiently moves it around. And Simonelli resets it. Wow, nice break by Lindsley. Fakes the flick and then steps through and just throws a little dish backhand. Weber trying to bother the reset, but Lindsley gets it right under his arm. And up the gut to number 2, who throws it out to space. And a big diving catch there by number 33. That is John Bergen. Nickname
Pulling
is
a
Hanglow.
soccer, taking his shirt off in celebration.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's the first time I've seen that, Chuck.
I think you're right. I don't think I've ever seen the shirt off and the discount double check in full effect tonight. Big layout catch. And man, that shirt looks itchy.
In the previous game against the Radicals, he removed a different article of clothing. We'll
Oh, no.
leave that article unnamed.
Took his hat off, huh?
Yeah.
So he takes his shirt off because he goes to the gym. Discount double check to all his buds. He looks like he does some Pilates. I'm not sure. Jeremy, you probably don't know anything about him at all. I'm going to say Pilates. So Jeremy has nothing to say about that.
That was John Bergen with the discount double check score there. And I'm glad someone told him that we were broadcasting live so that he opted to take his shirt off.
That's right. His whole family now knows what he looks like with his shirt off. Incredible. So downfield, a little overthrown and a nice catch D there by Strings, and he is streaking deep. He wants the disc. And they're going to give it to him. Here's the matchup. Oh, looked like it might have been
Wow.
a strip,
No call from the ref.
but no call. Tyler Glenn, they're going to call it a clean D. It's a tough angle for the ref. It did look like he might have had a good claim to the disc. And a big layout from Scullion, just a little bit out of his reach, but nice pursuit by Scullion. It's probably the right look. Just got a little too much blade on that. Let's see if we can get a look at this throw to the end zone. So you can see Strings catches the D, and then he immediately just sprints to the end zone. We'll get a look at it later. So back in here, Lindsley cutting away. Wiseman's guarding Lindsley, so an interesting matchup. Lindsley, was in a quick turnover here. Scullion throws it around out to space. I'm not sure. I think he was thinking the referee was wearing a Radicals jersey. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
Out of the corner of your eye, I suppose the vertical black and white stripes
Could look like blue and yellow.
could look like something that's not white, and then you throw it to it. I guess that's what happened. So in any event, Windchill playing with fire, but they get the disc back. And the big shot, one more time here, to Strings. Wow, and a big D by Andrew Brown. The old savvy vet gets position, makes the play, and makes sure to do the protective back roll so that he doesn't injure any of his elderly joints. He's not that old, he's 32. I'm not sure how old he is, but in any event, Andrew Brown breaks it just like that to Wiseman. Wiseman looking deep and throws it. Nice shape on this disc. Real nice throw. Drops it in right between two defenders. And then the quick dish out to space, and that's number 10, Dave Schleicher with the goal. Wow, just an incredible deep shot by Wiseman. The strategy of forcing Wiseman to get the disc and then huck it may not work out after all. He's starting, it seems, to just kind of dial in on these hucks.
That was an action-packed point, Chuck. I don't know about you, but I'd like to see just about any of the plays that happened in that point. It looked like there was a lot of hucks. Let's see, maybe this is that throw we suspected was a strip.
Wow, looked
that's
pretty
hard to tell.
simultaneous. Glenn looked like he might have been out ahead of that
Just
one.
a little bit.
So I'm gonna, it's hard to tell, but Glenn that might have been the right call. Looks like the refs are on top of it. And they're Scullion with the full extension layout. And here's Andrew Brown. Just a perfectly timed layout.
Just a reminder, all of these replays are from the point we just came off of.
Yeah, this just happened. All right, so centering to Trosvig. Whoa, flop, our first flop of the game, brought to you by Pettit Scantling. Wow, offensive foul.
You got it.
You don't see that very often.
Nope.
But Pettit Scantling, obviously a soccer player, is able to go down, draw the foul, and maintain his integrity as a man. Trosvig, unfazed, swings the disc. And nice big cut down the middle from number 8. It's Paco. Trosvig with the disc. Moves it up the middle, and Sealer with the big flick around. He loves that throw, and he's got it dialed in. These defenders are just not ready to guard what looks like a very poor decision, a very tight window to throw into, but that's his bread and butter. He's been hitting that all night. Nice throw by Zero, Kevin Sealer. So here we are, knotted at 20s. Just under 30 seconds left in the third. And this is turning into an outstanding game. I'm not sure. I mean, both teams have stepped it up in the second half. And it's going to be interesting to see who's got another gear. I feel like we're seeing pretty much the best of both of these teams.
Absolutely, and I have a hard time imagining that they can keep up this level of play for another quarter. They are absolutely burning their legs both on offense and defense.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. Here's a replay of that foul by Trosvig. So Drescher getting set to pull for the Windchill. And he bombs a big backhand right up the gut here. And Benji Kieran centering to Andrew Brown. Immediately Wiseman is open underneath. And back to Andrew Brown. He's got a couple deep shots to look at. But there's no mark. But remember, and 7 seconds left. The big hammer over the top. Wiseman is in the area. Never quite sees it. And Windchill signaling time, but it looks like the third period is over. So recurring theme, it sounds like the opposing team's sideline or fans has been counting down a little prematurely.
Trying to bait an undue huck.
Yeah, a hammer on with 6 seconds left, which I think is what that was.
So in a little bit, we're going to cut away from Scooby-Doo and to the highlights. But before we do, Jeremy, what were your walk-away thoughts from that point in terms of how the Radicals stepped up this quarter?
So I think that the offenses on both teams have just been really effective. They're not really taking a whole lot of chances, but they're also throwing aggressive throws. It's not like these throws are easy by any means. I think the Radicals are doing well against Minnesota's defense, but their defense is not being particularly effective. So it's going to be a really exciting game. It's going to come right down to the line. Who can get that extra turn?
Yeah, agreed. And here we're seeing kind of a recap of the third quarter highlights here. It's so much happening in this quarter. A lot of fun to watch. There's a nice throw out to space to Wiseman. Look how fast Wiseman is moving here. He's just really coming on here in the second half. And there's that little step in flick huck. Off balance, pivoting to his right, and he's able to just rocket that forehand.
No chance for the defender.
Yeah, incredible. And here's the Mac, the play of the half. Play of the half so far by Nate Vulcan, incredible. And in momentum, the throw to Wiseman. So many pretty throws across the field. I mean, these guys are really starting to feel the disc. There's another 1-foot release from Trosvig, and the ever so casual backhand for the goal to Schwab. Here's Wiseman using his size. Wiseman had a big third quarter. Seems like he's in just about every one of these highlights. And there's Trosvig getting D'd by Pettit Scantling. And then Pettit Scantling, of course, later drew a foul on Trosvig. That's turning into quite a matchup.
Well, we are just about ready to start the fourth and final quarter. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming in and giving us just a little bit of insight into the Madison Radicals.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. It's been a great weekend for Ultimate, and it's going to be in Madison in particular.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's turning out to be a really exciting game here as well. So Ultimate fans all around not being let down this weekend. So enjoy the rest of the game.
All right, so as we get set here for the first quarter, Trosvig with a very unorthodox pull that is incredibly effective. Looks like it's a couple steps out of bounds, however. You can see he throws a flick pull that goes all the way out the side of the end zone, just a massive flick.
Another pull out of bounds, and the Radicals will take over at the brick mark. James Scullion handling.
So Scullion centering the disc here. And it's knotted at 20s. It's anybody's game. Let's see who comes out and wants it. Quick move downfield to number 10. Thibs is open deep. And here's the shot. Looks like it's got a lot of edge on it.
Wow.
Big catch.
That was incredible.
Thibodeau is having himself a game. He made an undercut, and as he planted to go deep, his defender slipped and fell, and Thibs was gone. You can see number 10 regretting his cleat choice. And Thibs almost overthrown there, but Thibs makes sure it goes full hoe, gets it with the left hand.
He must have fans in the stand, Chuck. You don't pull out one of those layouts for just anyone.
That's right. He must have a beautiful wife or something. All right, so it's 21-20 here. Madison comes out and draws first blood in the fourth quarter. Another look at that awesome layout from Thibodeau.
Which was thrown, by the way, from Glenn, who that puts his stats at unofficial stats. 3 goals, 2 assists, 2 Ds.
Wow, what a game. And so here's the 2-4-1 zone by Madison. Weber's kind of sagging in the middle a little bit. And Tyler Glenn is all the way in the back. This is interesting. Normally Weber is around the disc. Now they've moved him downfield a little bit. Trying out number 68 on the mark.
That's Nelson.
And Nelson trying to prevent that around, but it gets off. Nelson looks tired right now. There's no rest for the marker in this zone. He's got to be on every thrower every time. Remember, however, if you're not on the mark, the stall still goes to 7. You don't have to be on the guy. So a nice throw through the middle, and Sealer winds and delivers on a hammer over the top to the back of the end zone. Wow, Sealer is just throwing a lot of goals, it seems like. Blades and hammers seem to be his drink of choice.
Indeed, and throwing often to Hemish, number 13.
Is that right? Sealer to Hemish. Nice throw over the top. You see it even flattens out to make it nice and catchable. He's really got that throw under control. And as you can see, as he turns towards the camera, he is not excited.
What's been working well for the Minnesota Windchill so far this second half is the goal they set at the beginning of the game, moving the disc quickly. They seem to be stymieing at least in that point, the Radicals' defense by just moving so quickly that the downfield defenders, even if they have their head on a swivel, can't quite react in time to stop that disc. So just working through the holes in the tapestry.
It's true. Right, and if the zone, a lot of times these zones are designed to funnel the disc to a certain area, or certainly tighten up and become more effective the longer the defense is set, and they're just not letting the defense ever get set. It's a nice move by the Windchill. Andrew Brown in the middle of the field, little scuba over the top. No mark right now on Scullion, but of course the stall is still still a 7 count. So it looks like the Windchill are settling into a man here. They're leaving Wiseman open because, like we said, they think he's a turnover machine. And he throws deep. Looks like Benji Kieran's got plenty of space, so I'm not sure what happened on D. Some sort of miscommunication. Kieran saw something he liked and just torched his guy to the end zone. So here's a replay. Not sure what happened. The defender, number 33, that would have been John Bergen, got turned around, must not have known where the disc was. A nice low delivery. He steps out with that right foot and drives it forward from the hip. Nice throw by Wiseman.
Benji Karen is typically a handler, so I don't know if he just saw the opportunity and took it, or they have him cutting downfield for the point.
Yeah, it looked like the defender maybe the defender was expecting to be around the disc, and Benji just said, well, if you're going to front me by 10 yards, I'll go catch a goal, son. Nice play by Benji. A big pole here. And Pettit Scantling running down on the pole. So it looks like a straight man here, backhand mark. And lots of pressure on the dump, especially anything downfield from the handlers. Deep shot now, Kevin Brown in the area. Oh, and Kevin Brown comes down with it. Nice play. That was certainly almost a second effort goal. But Kevin Brown makes sure and just catches it with one hand before the two Windchill guys can grab it. So here's Glenn, right where you want him if you're the Windchill, right around the disc, because he's so dangerous going to the end zone. Glenn once again given the free reset here. That's probably what the defense has decided to do. Just let him come underneath. Wow, and a deep there by Schwa. But a foul is called, a strip rather. So 10-yard penalty and a fresh 7 stall count. Glenn gets it. No big is called. Must have been somebody wide open going away. And the Radicals double team here. Stall's getting high, has to throw downfield, throws into traffic, and it's a turnover. So a lot of pressure on that double team forces a costly error. So we shall see. Trosvig looking to check the disc, and there's a whistle, however. I think there may be an injury here, Eagles. Looks like there's an injury sub. Number 10 is coming in. And I couldn't see who that was coming off.
I think that might have been Lindsley.
Might have been Grant Lindsley. We'll have to check in. We'll get our stat boy to run down there and find out. All right, so the disc is in play down the backhand line. Big backhand around the mark. And Sealer's down there again. Oh, and nice team defense by the Radicals. Looked like Sealer might have gotten that, but pressure from the backside and the front side forces the turnover. Mike Swain and Kevin Brown getting the D. So the Radicals call timeout. They've got a 1-point lead, 8.5 minutes to go. And each team has one timeout left.
And remember, drinking and driving is not a joke.
So here you can see Kevin Brown coming in from the backside. Wow, so he actually, I think what happened is Kevin Brown played so tight on his back shoulder that Sealer couldn't adjust. And really the guy closest to making that skying catch is number 8. He came in late, Paco, over the top, almost skied the pack there. It's a nice bid by Paco, but not quite enough. So we shall see here. I mean, if history tells us anything, the Radicals are going to pull this one out. But anything can happen. I think the Windchill are certainly fired up to pull the upset here against the home crowd.
Agreed, especially with how tightly they're playing this game. Historically, the Madison Radicals have had a slightly larger lead at this point in the game, which of course doesn't necessarily mean that they have this one in the bag, nor that they're going to lose it. Just means that the Minnesota Windchill are definitely playing to their full potential right now. Even watching them, I feel like they're a different team this second half than they were the first. They are completely fired up and taking advantages both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, exactly right. And, one thing I will say about these Madison Radicals guys is that they're not the kind of team that gets complacent. You know that even though this is a close game and maybe they expected to be ahead, they're not the kind of team that mails it in at any point. They're a very humble, very hard-working team, and you can expect them to play hard the whole game, whether they're in the lead or not. So pretty tightly contested reset to Andrew Brown. And he's looking down. Big bid by Strings. Downfield is caught by Tyler Glenn. You can tell Strings really wants to get a D on Tyler. Tyler's been lighting him up all night. So far, it's been all Tyler Glenn in that matchup. Throw up the middle here. Thibodeau to Tyler Glenn, who kind of carelessly tries to one-hand it in traffic, and it's a turnover. So with less than half of the field to look at here, the Windchill take over and have got a chance to tie it up at 22. Nice little inside break. And the around flick is there. Strings is kicking himself right now for not making that throw. It was an open break side throw for a goal. And he got a little bit over the top of that one on his flick. He's a young player. He's probably still developing some of his throws, but certainly he would love to have that one back. Glenn calling for it and quickly gets it back to Thibs, who steps around the mark and delivers a great throw out to space. And look at that. Absolutely incredible. That's number 10, David Schleicher, who sees Thibs, knows he's got this throw. Watch how he has to step around, make sure that the foot and the hand are out of play there from the mark, but also not pop it up. A lot of times guys step out wide and they lose control of the disc. Not Thibs. He's got his weight down. He drives the disc out to space, and there's really nothing the defender can do. Perfectly thrown disc.
You know, you could see Thibodeau recognizing that Schleicher was setting this play up probably 1 to 2 passes beforehand when he called for it. So for that reason, Schleicher had many steps on his defender, making it an extremely easy goal.
And you can see that Strings puts the big bid previously on Tyler Glenn. Here's the throw to the end zone again. But previously we saw a replay of the big bid by Strings nearly getting the D on the under for Tyler Glenn. And then on the next play, Glenn drops it. So often you see that, Migos, where there's a lot of pressure on you and you make the catch, but then you know, on the next catch you drop it or you turn and throw a turnover. So here it is. You see he puts pressure on him on this one, and then on the next play when there's nobody in the area, he just boinks the catch because he's probably thinking about Strings diving over his shoulder again.
Right, and also when the speed of the game speeds up, you're opening yourself up to a few more mistakes just like that one.
Certainly. So 2 men on the mark here, able to get it around. This is kind of a front-loaded zone. There's one guy deep. Wiseman is playing center field here. Wow, lots of pressure on the disc here. So let's see if Starren gets it through. The 2-man cup, up the middle. Sealer, calm as a cucumber, gets the disc. Trosvig with it. And the Windchill so far very patient. Lots of pressure though up front. Let's see if they can find a way to get it downfield. Trosvig is open for the hammer. And the reset to Sealer. Sealer right up the gut. And he makes that look easy.
Both Weber and Nelson look a bit fatigued.
Oh, and kind of an odd delivery there. I don't think number 45 expected him to throw that. That was John Starren. Just wasn't ready to catch.
No, and that was Sealer's throw just a little bit flat there.
Wiseman absolutely rocks number 10 on the D. That was Jay Drescher just getting almost broken ankles on that cut. Big shot across field here. Easily played by Weber. Weber, of course, looks like he's not trying, but he is. We asked him earlier. And over the top to number 9, who once again finds Weber, who casually catches the goal, keeping his feet in. This guy is just playing such a mature game from Weber. He's always doing the right thing. He's never overplaying the disc, keeping his foot in when it's near the end zone. And he's just a defensive presence as well. When he's out there, I think the whole defense can trust the mark a little more. The throwers on the other team just understand that they're not going to get the free, easy resets that they would like. And you can't say enough about Weber tonight. I think he's a big difference maker right now for the Radicals.
Agreed. That is his 4th goal for the game, putting him actually ahead of Glenn if my unofficial stats are correct.
Oh, incredible.
So
we haven't seen a deep shot to Glenn in a while.
Should run down there and ask him for one real quick.
Yeah, maybe we could just let him know.
Put in a request.
Hey, we're trying to sell the sport here. If you wouldn't mind putting deep, that'd be great.
So 5 minutes, 25 seconds left in this game, and the score is 24-21. This is the largest gap we've seen in a while.
So the Radicals, like you might expect, are starting to pull away. The game's on the line, and they know it. Let's see if the Windchill can respond.
Thursday night is Radicals night at the Madison Mallards game.
So they're playing a pretty switchy downfield man defense, and Lindsley lays out, unable to catch it. I'm not sure if that was a missed throw or just defensive pressure by Swain, but in any event, a turnover. And the Radicals have a shot to go up 4 here. This would be Very difficult to come back from after the wind chill. Swain gets open on the under. A nifty little backhand around the mark. Resets to Andrew Brown. Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin Brown. And Swain throws it a little too far. Nice feet by number 44. Keeps it in and makes the catch. That's Scullion, who throws it around the defender for the goal. So they go up 5. Nice play by Scullion to make the catch and then throw kind of the German out to space. Thrower initiate a goal to Pettit Scantling. Outstanding play by Scullion.
You know, it's worth mentioning that the wind has picked up just a little bit. I think that's the reason for for Swain's almost overthrow there. That they were used to working with almost flat air, and now we've got just the tiniest bit of gust.
And a timeout is called. That is Minnesota's last timeout. They're down 4.5 minutes to go here in the fourth. And it's now or never time basically for the Minnesota wind chill. If they don't put one on the board right now, it may be out of reach. So let's see what they've got here. Madison looking very, very calm and relaxed. They're in front of their home crowd. They're making all the plays right now. They look very confident. They expect to win, and it shows.
Right, and you said it best, they have to move now. I'm talking about the wind chill if they want to win this game. But I'll also say it's certainly not outside of the realm of possibility. At the start of the second half, the points were taking less than a minute, so it gives them plenty of time to come back if they fight with the fire that they had just a little bit earlier.
And here's that throw into a crowd there. Great bid there by Strings, and then the drop by Tyler Glenn. And what an awesome throw by Thibodeau to get it around the mark and keep it in bounds. Perfect throw. So I gotta say, for the most part, the wind chill look like they're starting to resign themselves to their fate this season, which is to come in a little bit behind. Look at this play by Scanlon. Keeps his feet in, reads the disc, and then no cut from Pettit Scanlon. He just sees that Grant Lindsley's face guarding and just throws him. It's a really tough throw, especially when the conservation of greatness is in play there. Because after you make a great catch,
you don't always make the best throw.
Sometimes all your great ideas turn out to be turnovers. At least that's been my experience.
You're not alone, Chuck. You're not alone.
Weber getting loose here. Big pull from Wiseman. Let's see if the wind chill can respond to the mounting pressure being put on them by the Madison Radicals here. Nice active mark. They're running their junk. They're 2-4-1 one more time. Wiseman playing center field. And the swing to Trosvig. Trosvig's got some big over-the-top looks that are available right now. And he throws to one. Big blade. Scullion was reading it, watching his eyes, and comes right across and puts a hand on that disc. And the wind is picking up. I'm not sure. That might have had something to do with that throw, not going where he wanted it to. Scullion resets to Nelson. Nelson around to number 9. And Wiseman's got a read on it. Oh, a little late to bid. It's kind of an awkward angle coming in over his right shoulder. He wasn't able to put a bid on that one. So a turnover from Wilson.
Got Wiseman and Weber on the mark there, two very lanky-armed individuals.
True story. Oh, my goodness.
It's a rough place to have a turnover.
It is, and you can see little brother syndrome is setting in here. The wind chill is starting to feel like maybe it's not going to happen for them. Maybe Madison's going to have their number all season. So 26-21, that's a 5-goal lead. And Tim DeBile all alone. The PA announcer says Tim writes the checks, folks. Moneybags Tim DeBile with the goal. I was talking to Tim before the game. He said he's excited to get out and play tonight because the Madison Hodag guys will be back after this weekend, and that might be all she wrote for Tim DeBile's playing time. Certainly the Hodags are going to be big goal scorers and producers for the Radicals for the rest of the season.
It's just such an interesting issue in the AUDL right now, is that kind of learning to to develop continuity over the course of the season. Here we are in week 7, and teams are either playing together for the first time or they still are expecting players to be coming in. A little bit different team each week.
The wind is kicking right now.
Which is going to make the zone a little more effective, the Radicals zone just a little more effective.
And a big backhand huck. Fading to the right. Lindsley's in the area. Wow, what a catch by Lindsley. I don't know how he got that. Lindsley steps around the mark, throws out to space.
To Prison Mike.
Oh, my goodness.
Number
and
5,
a fielder's choice
Johnson.
goal there for Lindsley. How in the world does he go up and
Wow,
catch that?
wow.
This guy's a phenom. Scullion's got to be scratching his head saying, I thought I just D'd that disc that's in your hand. But Lindsley, no problem for him. Incredible. You know, we were talking before the game to Becky about Lindsley. This guy played on Chain Lightning, one of the premier men's club teams in the country out of Atlanta when he was a sophomore in high school. Think about that, a sophomore in high school. He's so far from being physically developed at that point, and yet he's able to be competitive against some of the best players in the world. And now he's just getting even better. I mean, that's got to be old hat for him by now to go up and just catch over 2 guys. He's doing that when he's 15 years old.
Even watching it in replay, it's still hard to figure out exactly what happened.
I don't know. He might have peanut butter on his hand or something.
I'm not convinced after the exhibition earlier that peanut butter is all that effective. I always believed that it was, and now I question it.
That's true, but we're not catching many of those blades. Andrew Brown with the disc. Plenty of open cutters downfield for the Radicals. And there's the reset to Animal, who thinks about hucking it deep. Holsters it, though, and now does. Now throws it deep. There's 2 defenders there. I think that was a high stall count situation. Oh, my goodness. Dave Wiseman says...
with an incredible D.
That was a catch. That was a throw. So that, for those folks who didn't know, the stall count was high, so he had to just turn and throw it. Animal had nothing to look at, so he just threw it up. And Wiseman says, hey, that's my game. Goes up over both guys, easily makes the catch. Does a little 2-step over his defender and then throws the goal. Holy cow, Dave Wiseman. I've never seen him play like this before. Read it the whole way.
I have to say, this game has just been highlight after highlight.
Yeah, this is AUDL Ultimate right here. These guys have come to play. They got the big home crowd, and they're looking to put a stamp on this rivalry right now. 27-22 Madison, 2.5 minutes to go. And the Windchill got to make something happen quick. They don't have a lot of time. And the upline throw. They're going to have a look at the end zone here. And that's probably the right call, just to take your shot. Oh! Almost a second effort goal there. But a turnover nonetheless. So if you're the Radicals here, you can slow it down, do some kind of Indiana Pacers half-court offense kind of thing, and just bore me to tears with resets. But they don't. They throw deep. Oh, big, looked like an offensive foul there. And no call from the ref. I can't believe they didn't call that. That looked like just a train rolling through town. Weber clears out the Windchill. All right, so 1.5 minutes left. Got to let it rip, and he does. Tailing to the right, a little bit of a misread by the Windchill.
And again, that's that wind coming into play there. Earlier, that throw would have been just fine.
Right you are.
Schreiwise taking his time.
Schreiwise moves it around. This game is all but over. And they're still putting it deep. I think it's fan appreciation time at this point. They just like to rack up a few more highlights for the fans. And under a minute left here. And pretty disappointing loss for the Windchill. They really had them right where they want them. We're getting pretty good results, and see if they can put one more on the board here. And they do. So they pull it within 4. Just over a half minute left in the game.
I'm not sure. Did you see who threw that? Maybe we can see that.
I did not. It was a big
Score again.
backhand
Yeah.
out to the end zone. So tough loss for the Windchill here. They really did play better than a lot of guys expect. And certainly adding in those University of Minnesota guys has made a big difference. And they've been playing great. Also, Strings just coming out and playing huge. Unfortunately, had a call go against him and a couple real close plays against Glenn.
That was Trosvig with the throw, and I think earlier you mentioned you're going to see some unconventional throws from him. From this camera angle, you see what a difficult throw that was, kind of through the middle of 2 people.
Yep, able to move the release point and just jack it to the end zone somehow. Obviously a guy with a lot of wrist strength. There are certain players who can move their release point around and still generate power, and a lot of that has to do with how much torque you're getting on the wrist. He's obviously got quite a bit. So a little double team, easily beaten over the top of the Scuba. And the Radicals are off and running here. Very few people have fouled out at this point. Home crowd is hanging until the end. And Scullion. Oh, a nice layout D. Was that caught? It was not caught. Nice layout D there.
By number 10, Jay Drescher.
Jay Drescher. And a big flick huck. Andrew Brown seeing if he can handle some business deep, and he does. Just plays the position. And the crowd, as time expires, roars to life. They love their Madison Radicals here at Breeze Stevens Field in downtown Madison.
And that is it. The score is 27-23 Madison Radicals.
Yeah, a lot of fun. These two teams obviously know each other well. Big rivalry both at the college and the club level. And they came out and put on a show for the fans here in Madison, also at home.
And exciting plays from start to finish. I think instead of a highlight reel, Chuck, they're just going to replay the game so you can see all those plays again.
Pretty much the whole second half is a highlight reel.
So the Radicals walk away with another 4-point lead over the Minnesota Windchill. Looking at the score, it's kind of hard to believe the game was as close as it was. Minnesota Windchill really played a very, very hard-fought game, and I think you said it best. They had the Radicals exactly where they wanted them for a while. But the Radicals, very seasoned, very calm, very chilly team. They knew that the pressure was on. They knew it was on the line, and they brought it just a little bit more.
And you can see the Radicals players walking over to their fans in the stands here, and the fans just absolutely loving it right now. Lots of young players out tonight. And you can see the Slackadar guys still no shirts.
And it's gotten a little bit chilly.
It's a lot colder right now.
Under 60 degrees. So that's dedication. But it does take dedication to become a Slackadar.
Yeah, it's no joke. So a lot of young kids, a lot of families out tonight. A lot of the local Ultimate scenes come out tonight to support their pro team in a national spotlight game, which they were able to really close out in the end and just cement their position above Minnesota right now in the conference. So we are going to bring in some fourth quarter highlights here in a couple minutes. There's so many highlights in the third and fourth quarter. We're going to try to run through them real quick. Here's that awesome layout catch by Thibodeau.
And we want to just take this opportunity to thank you so much for tuning in to UX TV tonight. We were glad we could bring you such an exciting, hard-fought game from both the Madison Radicals and the Minnesota Windchill.
Absolutely. Here's the hammer over the top from Sealer. Sealer really was just a steady hand for the Minnesota Windchill. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win, but you got to say that nothing really rattled him at any point. And that's a good sign. If you want to pull upsets later in the season, he may be a key piece of the puzzle for them.
And he did throw 3 of the goals for this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I think 2 blades and 1 hammer. Which, tough throws, but he's got them dialed in. And they were very, very high, or very low-risk throws, rather, when he threw them. They didn't look risky at all.
Other high throwers or other high goal throwers for the Minnesota Windchill would be Trotsvig as well as Schoenrock. And then the top scorers, Hemish, Lindsley, of course, and then Niles and Klein, all with between 2 and 4 goals under their belt. For the Madison Radicals, as we know, Glenn, 3 goals, 2 assists, and 2 Ds, but both Schleicher and Weber caught 4 of the Madison Radicals' goals this evening. And then their top thrower would be number 21, Wiseman, and number 44, Scullion.
Yeah, it was fun to watch Wiseman come on late in this game. Basically, as soon as the game, as soon as we got close to the fourth quarter and the game was in question, Wiseman came on strong and just started really winning all the discs in the air, throwing a lot of goals, just causing a lot of trouble for the Windchill. And Weber, big second half for him as well, finishing with 4 goals. There's that nice D over the top from Scullion. Here's the one play Wiseman didn't make. You can see reality starting to set in at this point.
Yeah, these, by the way, they will be showing a highlight reel from the whole game, but these are just highlights from the fourth quarter.
There's that amazing catch from Lindsley. Sticky hands. And the beautiful throw out to space. That is just one of the most disheartening things, folks, when you make the big catch, go up and sky the pack, and then, oh, by the way, you're also going to make great throws as well, stepping around the mark, just delivering a perfect throw out to space.
And highlights aside, Chuck, you're going to see something that you have been dying to see for quite some time now. On the field, they are lining up Madison Radical players. Mike Swain has played an entire game of Ultimate, and he is ready to prove to Chuck once and for all that he can flip over people. So here we have a shot of him on the field.
Here's what a real athlete looks like. Oh my goodness. And he cleared it easily. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to land on his feet.
Can we get a replay of that? Is that possible?
Oh boy.
Let's see that in slow motion. Wow.
Holy smokes. Swain. Feeling good. Feeling the flow. Working it.
Well, I don't think that on my freshest day I could even flip over one person, let alone 12 on after a day of Ultimate.
Yeah, let's take another look at this. He almost landed it.
Yeah. I have a feeling he was disappointed. I kind of think that maybe he typically does land that. We should holler down and ask him. So thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. We certainly enjoyed ourselves, and we hope that you did as well.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to UXTV Network. We're going to be back with plenty more action for the people who own the season package here. And it's just turning into a great season. A lot of rivalries developing, not the least of which is this one. Unfortunately, the Windchill were not able to notch a win tonight, but you can see that the second half of the season is going to be a different story than the first half with all this added firepower and just a lot of players that are really coming on, a lot of chemistry that's starting to develop for the Windchill.
Right, exactly right. Now that teams are starting to get a little more settled week after week, the roster is going to finalize a little bit more and connections are going to be made.
Absolutely. So we want to thank our staff here. We got Luke Johnson down on the field, Joshua Havens up in the booth, Kelly Johnson, she's married to Luke Johnson, that's her job title. And we're just thrilled to be bringing you all this action. We got a lot of HD cameras, a lot of letters and numbers like 720p. Is that a number? I'm not sure what we have.
We have 4 cameras. That's also a number.
We got 4 cameras. Yeah, 4.
4.
So we'll be back with more action later. Migos, thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.